Smith and James, first break.
10-4.
Bless you.
Hey, Big Daddy, how you doing?
I was about to sneeze. Blah, blah, blah. I think we're good.
Yeah, we all heard about what was left in there because you left. That was kind of gross, dude.
I wasn't ready. Can we start the show over? Can we try again?
Good morning.
Nope. Sure can't.
You asked for it. I wasn't going to play it.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome in. Happy Thursday, my dudes and dudettes. It is the Thursday morning edition of the Rob Brown Show right here, and only on the Fan Upstate. What's happening, y'all? Everybody good. Everybody living their best life. Everybody just having an absolutely spectacular day, week, month, year so far. I certainly hope so. I am Rob Brown. The pleasure is mine, though not exclusively, because directly on the other side of the metaphorical glass this morning is the alpha and the omega of the Fan Upstate, the content cash cow. He is the professor of perfection, the wizard of wave, the sultan of swag. He is the great one, Lonzo. What up, Zoe?
Let's go. We're going to go.
My headset keeps fuzzing out, so I have no idea what you played right there.
Let's go. We're going to go.
Oh, let's go if we gonna go. Let's go if we gonna go. What a day we got lined up today, kids. It's Thursday. Thursdays are fun. Why? It's not quite Friday, but you start to get the vibe just a little bit. We got Rashad Beard coming by at 8:20 a.m. to talk Panther football. And yes, we got plenty of Cat's pigskin to talk about on the show today, despite the fact that the only two teams that matter right now are KC and SF. And obviously, we're going to talk quite a bit of Super Bowl on the radio broadcast today. Yesterday, we did all of the Patrick Mahomes props because based on the lines that Vegas sets, you can get a pretty good idea of what they expect to happen in the game. Patrick Mahomes' numbers, pretty close to what they have been on average towards the back half of the season. What about Brock Purdy? Do the Vegas insiders see him doing anything special on Sunday? We're going to talk about that later in the show. Speaking of Carolina, did you see what Matt Rule said yesterday? Because like a scorned lover of a bygone day, Matt Rule still has things to say about his time in Charlotte. And the former Panther head honcho said that there is a player in this draft, scratch that, in this Super Bowl, there is a player in this Super Bowl that he had on his draft board and was told by the higher-ups in the administration, nay, you will not draft that guy. And Matt just fired a shot that said, hey, maybe, possibly, potentially, theoretically, it wasn't all my fault. Maybe, just maybe, it wasn't all exclusively, only, and entirely on me. We're going to talk about that. It is exactly in 0% surprising that took place. But at the same time, I don't know quite if it's the flex Matty R thinks that it was. We're really gonna deep dive that later in the show. We have got more Super Bowl exotic props coming out. Some ones you didn't know even existed. And we're going to have some fun with those later in the show. And it's Thursday, and you know what that means. Coming up at 9:20 this morning, it's time for Fight Club with the great one, Lonzo. Your home for combat sports in the upstate. There is no show that delves as deep into the world of mixed martial arts, of the sweet science of boxing, and of course, professional wrestling as the Rob Brown Show on the Fan Upstate. So make sure that you are here later on in the day for a little bit of Fight Club with the Great One. I'm very much looking forward to that because last night, this week, this weekend, all of it has been an absolute banger of a weekend for professional wrestling. So we'll get into that later on in the show. I am going to do something here in just a few minutes from now that I have not done, as Obi-Wan might say, in a long, long time. I'm going to say not one, Lonzo, but two nice things, positive things, complimentary things about owners of professional sports franchises. That's not something I'm a big fan of, y'all. In fact, I do my darndest to make sure that I take frequent pot shots at the owners of professional sports franchises. I do my best to hit them with as much ire and vitriol as I could possibly muster in my golden, kind heart. But today, a couple of things, well, I should say yesterday, a couple of reports came out that made me immediately think I have to golf clap them. Speaking of golf, it's been a lot of controversy around the LIV Tour and the PGA Tour and the merger that they were discussing. And you will recall that earlier this week, it was announced that the PGA Tour had struck up an investment partnership with an outside entity that was going to inject as much as $3.1 billion with a B into the PGA Tour. We know that at a minimum, it's $1.5 billion, and there's the chance for that to more than double over the years based on performances and yada, yada, yada. Well, there was also some stuff going on regarding the future merger of the LIV Tour and the PGA Tour that could possibly see LIV Tour guys showing up on the tour for majors, maybe even some crossover events down the line. All very interesting discussions, but it has not been happening, and I've been asked a couple of times why, and the answer is because there is a congressional inquiry going on right now into that merger. The background, how did we get here? These were two entities that have been polar opposites since the inception, the conception of the LIV Tour itself. You will remember that for a while, the biggest rivalry in sports was not Yankees, Red Sox, was not Wolverines, Buckeyes, was not Packers, or anybody else. The biggest rivalry in sports for a hot minute was the LIV Tour versus the PGA Tour. You had Rory McIlroy out there taking absolute bazooka shots at guys who jumped over to the LIV Tour. You had guys on the LIV Tour saying, those snooty bleeps over on the PGA Tour, to hell with them. And then one day, with the exception of old Scotty Scheffler, it just kind of stopped. And then there was talk about a merger and investments and yada, yada, yada. And then Congress went, yo, wait a minute. We're a little confused and at least a little bit uncomfortable by the changes in attitudes and changes in latitudes, as Jimmy Buffett might have said. And we're going to do a little investigation. This isn't to say that we think anything is wrong for sure. It's just that we'd like to look into the paperwork, if you don't mind. And then yesterday, something very interesting happened, something that I'd like to get in deeper into the show. But since I've got you at this point, I might as well tell you now. Yesterday, some advisors to the Live Tour, American advisors, as a matter of fact, to the Live Tour, went in front of Congress. They got in front of Congress and they were being grilled. Hey, how did this come about? The Live Tour hated the PGA Tour. The PGA Tour hated the Live Tour. Why? Oh, why, pray tell, did they get on the same page? And some of the Live Tour advisors may have, and I mean this literally, not facetiously, may have taken their lives into their own hands. How? Why? Great question. They told Congress, at least a couple of them, Zoe, that Saudi Arabia, you know, the folks who are funding, running, owning, and operating the Live Tour, the people that, when the Live Tour propped up, those are of us that are golf fans, looked at those guys moving over and said,
This is completely BS. This is shame.
you probably shouldn't do that. Those aren't good people. Those aren't good dudes. This is not a great move for you, guys. Remember that? Remember when we all said, hey, the Live Tour is terrible. Maybe don't go over there because the Saudi Arabians are bad, bad people. Remember that? And remember how half the golf world told us that we were overreacting? Remember how half the golf world told us that it's not that big of a deal and competition's good and this is going to make golf better. And, you know, yeah, the Saudis, maybe not the best people in the world, but hey, man, they're trying. And, you know, competition breeds excellence exclusively, does it not? And we said, yes, but maybe not with evil people, maybe not with real bad people. Well, those American advisors to the Live Tour went in front of Congress yesterday, and they testified to Congress, telling Congress, Zoe, that Saudi Arabia threatened them with up to 2 decades in jail in a Saudi Arabian prison if they cooperated with the United States Congress on this probe. 20 years plus. They threatened them with 20K years plus. They said, if you talk to Congress, the people that are trying to make sure that we're not taking advantage of the system and breaking the rules and breaking the law, if you talk to them, if you testify, my brother, we're going to have a problem. No. You're going to have a problem. You're going to go to a Saudi Arabian prison for upwards of 20 years. You wonder why now it was that when the Live Tour became a thing, guys like Rob Brown said, maybe don't, dudes. Like maybe don't do that.
Is anyone surprised by this? I mean, I think there are some people out there who think the laws in America apply everywhere else. They don't. Other countries, you know, have their own set of laws and do things a certain way. It didn't just come out of nowhere. They probably have been doing this since the dawn of time over there. So, I mean, you know.
You are not wrong. This is, again, I guess I'm almost saying
is this one of those moments where it goes, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is no.
The bad people did a bad thing?
Yeah, it's just it's like, okay. Well,
this is not so much.
Enjoy your money.
This is not so much great one. This is not so much Rob Brown saying, hey, you should all gasp, be shocked by this. No. This is, if I may be so bold, Rob Brown taking a victory lap. I know. I don't ever do that. I don't ever take victory laps on this show.
Wait, you're doing the Champa pat yourself on the back thing? It's a lot harder to do that.
It is, dude. I think here's the thing. I use pep. Now I have to push my arm around to get it back there to pat myself on the back. And pull a muscle, pat myself on the back. This is Rob Brown. And I'll tell you who I'm, shall we say, dunking on right now. I got a bunch of fraternity brothers down in the great state of Florida. We're all golf guys. We're all golf guys. We're all the people that take off Masters weekend. I ain't working. Don't call me. I'll be in front of the TV. We're the ones who throw Masters parties where you come to our house to have some pimento cheese sandwiches and some sweet tea. We're golf guys. And when this whole thing happened, they were like, Rob, get over it. I was like, nah, you probably shouldn't work with those guys. They are noted real bad guys. Noted real bad guys. And they went, no, Rob, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. It's just sports, right? It's not that bad. They're not going to do anything that bad. And I went, hey, yeah, they are. It's kind of their thing, actually. And then here we are finding out that when they're strong-arming the PGA Tour because they're playing the game with the unlimited money cheat glitch turned on, and they're threatening the people that were trying to make it clean with 20 years in a Saudi Arabian jail, I get to go, yeah, I told you. It's just me taking a victory lap. It's 6:16 in the morning, you know? Sometimes you just got to take a victory lap. And I'm happy to do it. All right. Let's take a break. We, ladies and gentlemen, have a lot to get into, a lot to talk about. We got the Super Bowl. We've got National Signing Day yesterday. A grand total between Clemson and South Carolina, Alonzo, a grand total of 0 recruits signed to either one of those schools yesterday.
Exciting day.
On National Signing Day.
Sure, entire programs were done on that.
Now, I was curious. I went and looked at the numbers. Turns out there's a real good reason for that. Shockingly good reason, as a matter of fact, for these schools. And I'll tell you what it is when we come back. My name is Rob Brown. The great one Lonzo's on the ones and twos. You guys, right now, currently, this very second, are listening to the Rob Brown Show right here on the Fan Upstate. All right, guys, got to do a live read. Good morning, everybody. Stick around. We'll be right back. right, dudes and dudettes, good morning. Happy Thursday, mi amigos. Fantastic to have you all. I told Courtney that around 7, I have to have my schedule free tonight. And she said, why? And I said, because there's a 0% chance that I'm missing this WWE press conference.
We're going to discuss that in depth.
I'm sure we are. The Rob Brown Show on your radio. It is the Fan Upstate. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Rob and the great Lonzo with you today. Hope that you're having a lovely start to your Thursday morning. Yesterday, if you weren't paying attention, was National Signing Day. You may have missed it. You may have missed it if you're not like a college football super fan, my friends. And the reason you may have missed it is that if you're listening to the show, there is a well better than average chance that you are a fan of either the Clemson Tigers or the Gamecocks of South Carolina. And if you got all jacked up about National Signing Day, it probably means that you don't follow recruiting all that closely. Now, I understand the premise. One of the cardinal sins in this business that I commit annually is by acknowledging to all of you that while I very much understand that recruiting is the lifeblood of college football, I don't follow it that closely. I mean, I follow the big names. I follow the 5 stars. I follow when guys are putting together classes that are considered excellent by the people who do follow it very closely for a living. But I'm going to keep it a buck with you, as the kids say. I got too much other stuff going on during recruiting season. We got the NBA on. We got the NHL on. MLB pitchers and catchers report next Wednesday in the ATL. There ain't no off season on the Rob Brown Show. So recruiting is just kind of always in the peripheral, right? It's always there. I know it's important. I'm going to keep an eye on it. If anybody signs a kid that's a big surprise or this or that or whatever, yeah, I'll take a gander. I'll take a look. I'll check in. I'll pay attention. But I did find it interesting on National Signing Day yesterday that there were no Carolina beat writers that were popping up and going, hey, here's a guy, there's a guy, everywhere's a guy. There were no Clemson beat writers going, so-and-so just picked the Tiger Paw hat. It was happening for other schools. Florida State had a guy pull up on a multi-million-dollar yacht to a dock in Florida with the gear on to announce he was going to FSU.
Was it his yacht?
I mean, not yet. Did you see?
Or was it a collective, an NIL collective's yacht?
An NIL yacht. Did we talk about Carson Beck yesterday?
No,
I don't think we did we?
I don't recall.
Remind me to talk about Carson Beck in the next segment. A story that may actually make Lonzo's head implode or explode. We'll find out. But no announcements for the Tigers. No announcements for the Gamecocks. I thought that's very, very interesting. And then I went and looked, and I realized National Signing Day is dead. Okay? It's dead. It's just never going to be the same. And that's okay. Again, let me be very, very clear. I don't care. Okay? Now, I will acknowledge that as a radio host, I care a little bit because it used to be, and let me go ahead and pull the curtain back even more, give myself in even more trouble. National Signing Day, Zoe, used to be a wonderful day for talk show radio hosts in the South. Why? Because it was a free day for us. It was a day off at work.
I don't want to start an argument, but it's that for everywhere, not just the South. It was that way in the North also, because they have signees that happen, north of the Mason-Dixon. I don't know if you knew that. Apparently you didn't, but
it may have been that way in Ohio, maybe Michigan. It's not that way in Pennsylvania. It's not that way in New York. It's not that way in Maine. It's not that way in New Hampshire.
You're speculating.
No, I'm not. I know. I listen to radio everywhere.
Yana, he's never been to Pennsylvania.
I have been to Pennsylvania, as a matter of
fact. Did you go to Poconos? Did you go skiing?
I did not go skiing, but I have.
You go to Amish country and buy
I got no interest in going to Amish country. I'm going to be real with you. Can I go ahead and give you my hottest take? The Amish are frauds. They're frauds.
It's all because of Marshawn Lynch.
They're frauds.
Before that.
No, they were frauds before, but I appreciate Marshawn calling the Amish out. They're frauds. All right. I don't believe it. I don't buy it. There are stories constantly of, and now it's starting to show up on social media.
Listen, Amish Mafia, I'm distancing myself from what Rob is saying. I completely believe in you.
What are they going to do? They can't use guns? What are they going to do?
Have you ever been
hit me with a cane?
Have you ever been caned before? I mean, caning is illegal, I believe.
Listen,
but I could be wrong.
If you are an Amish person who is like truly and genuinely committed, then good on you. But there are videos constantly of my favorite thing. This story happened a while back. I know this is not anywhere near the topic. I'm coming right back to it, but I have to say this now. There was a huge thing out of Amish country. A handful. Do you remember last year, Zoe, when the federal government tested out that alarm system that pinged all of our phones at the same time? You remember that?
Yeah, but
because it was going to turn us all into lizard people.
It didn't ping mine, or I slept through it. I still can't figure out why that happened.
Well, it got me.
Yeah.
And the jokes on social media were huge.
I bet it got you too.
Oh, scared the hell out of me. There was the jokes were going around on social media because you had the Alex Joneses of the world going, hey, remember how you all got the microchip vaccine? This is the trigger. It's going to turn you into a giant walking lizard, right? And we were all having our good time.
I don't think he said that exactly. I don't know.
I'm pretty sure he did.
Okay, all right.
But the point here is not the conspiracy theorist weirdos. I'll give them their own time. The funniest thing ever, was there were a bunch of people who got in trouble in Amish country, Lonzo, because you couldn't silence the alarm. And so there were a bunch of Amish people rolling around who all of a sudden got busted because the jeans or whatever they were wearing suddenly started pinging and vibrating because they all had cell phones. They just kept them in the pocket. It's like the people who definitely don't drink in public, but you know they do. They all were rocking cell phones. The Amish are frauds. All right, cancel me if I have to have it.
Yeah, we know that can't happen. I don't. You might be canceled in Amish country.
What's it matter? They don't have radios.
Have you seen? It doesn't mean they haven't walked into a place where a radio is actually playing. I mean, that's a possibility. Maybe they go to a store.
What are they gonna do? They're
gonna get in their buggy.
They're gonna ride their horse and buggy down here.
They might. There is, I believe, a contingent of Amish in the area because I remember there was a Mennonite who used to call WORD all the time.
How?
So for
the record, let me be apparently.
I think there's a difference between Mennonites and Amish.
And by the way, the whole cancel thing's dumb, but I'm making a joke.
It can't happen to you.
There are with most belief systems. I know I'm struggling right now. There is a spectrum of Amish people. There are some Amish people who are like they use the electricity. They understand. They don't care.
And then there are some that are devout.
Absolutely. Yeah. That are hardcore in on the we don't do it.
Those are the ones I'm afraid of. Have you seen the old looking Amish dudes? I don't want to mess with that. Those guys are scary looking.
All I'm saying is I feel like it's kind of over the top, guys. It's kind of over the. All right, let's go back to what we're talking about.
Really quick, which would you be more afraid of?
I'm not afraid of any of them.
To take a beat down from a Catholic school nun or an old Amish dude?
I did not go to Catholic school growing up. I was Catholic growing up, but I did not go to Catholic school. I will tell you, as a child, the nuns in my church were terrifying people because they have zero empathy or sympathy.
That's
None at all.
That's how I feel about
At
the
all.
old looking Amish dudes. I think they're the same way.
All right, let's get back to where we were because that
You-
was not what
You
I
never
intended to happen.
never answered the question, but that's fine.
I don't have an answer. I've never been around Amish people. I've
Okay,
been
so
to
that
Amish country,
I
but
think
never
that's
actually
the
been
answer.
around
You'd be
them.
more afraid of the nuns because you know them.
Yes. All right. So National Signing Day. It's dead.
I just the reason why we
Lonzo
went.
cannot let the Amish people go.
No,
right
no,
now.
no. The reason why we went somewhere else is because that's how interesting National Signing Day is.
Well, so this is not about what happened yesterday. This is about what has been happening. Of the top 100 recruits in the 24/7 recruiting composite, this is all the 5 stars, of which there's about, 40 ballpark. Of all the 5 stars and then all the 4 stars, the top 100 players in America, according to 24/7 Sports, Lonzo, out of all of them, there were a grand total of 3 that signed on National Signing Day.
Wow.
It's over. The National Signing Day hype. Sorry, I lied to you. 4. Only 4 of them did not sign their paperwork back in December of last year. So I'm almost to the point where I'm like, okay, it's not now. There's not National Signing Day. There's National Signing Month now. It's December. That's when all the kids are getting their paperwork in, and that's fine. I'm not saying this is a complaint. Again, I personally don't care. I don't care at all. I'm not worried about it. But I think it is more an illustration of when I hear people say, oh, college football's changing because of the this and the that. Yeah, dude, it is. It is. And it changed from the 90s to the 2000s and the 2000s to the 20-teens and the 20-teens now to the 2020s. And this is just the most recent ramification. Shane Beamer said, quote, not a single one this year. You usually anticipate 1 or 2 guys, but for whatever reason, and it's a testament to the kids we signed, they were all basically committed to us before the season. They never wavered. There wasn't really anybody we had to hang on to at the end. They're awesome. Dabo Swinney, same situation. The majority of kids that he's bringing in for 24 were signed long before yesterday. Clemson has a top 15 class right now. Sorry, I'm looking at the rankings overall.
It's all orange. I mean, I could see why there's confusion.
Well, Texas is in there too. All the orange teams except Florida have good classes. Actually, Florida's class is pretty good too. Top 15 class every cycle since 2011. In 2024, 15 of Clemson's 22 recruits joined the team back in January. A fistful more joined them back in December. National Signing Day is not a thing. So to the folks that hit me up yesterday telling me that, a couple of emails really, it wasn't that dramatic, but dramatic enough to bring up. A couple of emails yesterday from people saying that I was detrimental in my duty to the sports listening area by not going in great detail in National Signing Day. Here you go. Here's an update. Ready? Here, ladies and gentlemen, is a list of all the recruits that Clemson, can you get the cricket sounder ready? Here's a list of all the players that Clemson and South Carolina signed yesterday on National Signing Day.
Yeah, I was gonna say we play too much more of that. I'm out.
And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. There it is. There's your National Signing Day wrap-up
Good for them.
for Clemson and
Good
South
for-
Carolina.
I thought you were just going to recap the 4 players who actually signed.
Look, I want you to know I was very close to doing that with the 4 guys out of the 24/7 composite.
We could have put some grandiose music behind
Oh,
it
yeah.
and made it a really big
Yeah.
deal. I mean, it's a big deal for those 4 players, but I look at those 4 players and think slackers because everybody else they're already in class on campus. What are you guys doing? Waiting for that money, waiting for that check. Highest bidder. Maybe that's what it was.
I think very simply that it is just a testament to the fact that the landscape of college football has changed, is changing, will continue to change. It's not going anywhere. It's not happening.
The job fair doesn't happen anymore because early signing bonuses are handed out if you come in early. So, I mean, and people are taking advantage of that, which you should. If I sign now, I get $1 million NIL contract. Okay. Screw you, high school prom and graduation. I'm going to go get paid. By the way, I'm serious. I would have been like, oh, yeah, I don't care about it. I'm not going to prom anyway. Let's go.
Listen,
yeah.
I'm going to tell you this right now. Next year, when we get to like mid-January, late January, National Signing Day is around the corner, I'm going to go to the boss and I'm going to be like, hey, here's what I'd like. National Signing Day. Maybe the most important day on the college football calendar. Boss, you know what I would like? I would like that day to just be able to really focus in, drill down on, dial in, and cover National Signing Day and the commitments that the Gamecocks and the Tigers acquire. I would like to really drill in and just be focused on those two schools that day. I don't want to worry about any other stuff. I don't need to do any other my other daily tasks. No production, no editing, no posting, none of that. Let me just stay locked in on the biggest recruiting day of the year and see if I can just get a free day off.
Sounds like something some other show probably tried yesterday and had to struggle because nothing happened.
Nothing happened is correct. Ladies and gentlemen, let's take a break. When we come back here in just a minute from right now, I mentioned just mere minutes ago, Carson Beck, he is the starting quarterback for the Georgia Bulldogs. You can imagine that starting for the Georgia Bulldogs, Carson Beck probably got himself a good little NIL deal going, right?
Wait, they still play football in Georgia?
Turns out they're real good at it too.
Not last year.
Yeah, they lost one whole game to a team that went to the playoffs.
Yeah,
pathetic.
I know, it's horrible.
Embarrassing.
How could you lose to that team?
So the Buckeyes stank too. Then.
Absolutely.
As long as we
they
all
couldn't even beat Michigan. That ain't going to work with me. Nice try though.
Well, Carson Beck this past week did something that I'm going to tell you I think is hilarious and awesome. And I'm going to tell you what that is next and see if Lonzo's head hurts afterwards. Rob Lonzo and you, the Rob Brown Show rolls on. It's the Fan Upstate.
I got 3 hours of sleep. I have no idea what I'm doing right now. I apologize. Not really. Who knows? This might be the most alert, awake I've been in forever. Actually, I'm way too relaxed. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Nearly took the microphone out, buddy.
I did, but I caught it.
Yeah, he's probably gonna make fun of it though. I mean, I don't know the story, but I'm just guessing. Or if I'm truly the contrarian that people think I am, I'm going to do the opposite of whatever Rob thinks I'm going to do. I don't think I've ever met a true contrarian, and that includes looking in the mirror. Because a true contrarian doesn't like anything that anybody else does. And I like chocolate. Most people like chocolate. I like professional wrestling. All the cool people do.
All the cool people do.
I'm a fan of football. If I was a contrarian, I couldn't do that.
Burn down, 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 down. Boom, down, 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 do, do, do.
Jacob, me too. Plus there's supposed to be a whole lot of other people that are going to show up. You don't know how long the cameos are going to be, but who knows? It might be the end of the genre. This might be that
Deadpool kills the Marvel universe.
Yeah, this might be that Arnold Schwarzenegger movie that
But if
killed the action genre.
If you've never read Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe, it's amazing.
And I'm sitting over here trying to decide if I want to go watch a movie that I know it's not going to be good called Madam Web, which comes out next week.
I'm shockingly intrigued by it.
Why? It's
Shockingly intrigued by it.
If it's good, I would be completely shocked. But for show purposes, I'm probably going to go see it. It's bad. I want it to be really bad, though.
You know, just about any given day, because we work here on the radio, if you walk down to our parking lot, it might as well be like an A+ level car show down there, all right? The rigs in our lot will blow you away.
Should you really be doing that? Because, I mean.
If you walk down to our parking lot during the day, you will think that you have stepped into a GTA game with the caliber of cars that all of us in this industry, we all go by nothing but the most quality rides.
If you walk down the hallway, you'd probably think you were in a GTA game also. Just saying. Lots of heists and things going on.
You know, there's a lot of us who take pride in our car, right? Like, I'll tell you right now, I pay dramatically more than I should, Zoe. I have a monthly subscription to a car wash by my house so that...
See, I can't do it. I can't.
I can.
I want, well, your salary, I'm just a normal employee, but I mean, that's how you can afford it, but I can't justify it because sometimes I might go a month without washing my car. It kills me, but there are certain days that are the day that I want to go do it. And it rains on that day, like for a month straight, like Saturdays.
I wash my car a minimum of twice a week.
Well, you don't have a dirt driveway that's like 7 miles long.
But I got a canopy of trees, and about twice a year, my car goes from a deep blue to yellow.
So it's green?
No, it's so polleny, it goes right past green to straight yellow.
All right.
So about 2 times a week, I go wash my car. I take pride in my ride. Now, granted, it is a new car. I had to buy it last year after my Jeep got mangled. So I'm still trying to keep that a new car smell. But, you know, like a lot of us, we like to take pride in our
beans kind of counter that. I'm just
the what?
The beans.
The beans?
Yeah, all the beans that you eat,
in my car
counter the new smell. It's anyway,
it's a fart joke.
I got it. I'm the guy. Normally you would got it right away.
I got it.
You just thought it was deeper than what it was.
You worked so hard to cover up the fart sound and the cheat sheet sounder. I didn't think you'd make a flatulence joke.
I've walked into that restroom just like you have every day.
Oh, don't make me think about it. So, I take pride in my car. I park it. I was going to say fart. No, I park it as close to the door as I can. But I get real mad when people overstep the lines into my lot. Okay. So, if you're a person that takes pride in your car, you'll understand this story, especially if you're a car guy. All right? I'm not a car guy. I'm a my car guy. But I know a lot of car guys.
Yeah, I drive a jalopy. It's barely held
You're
together.
a damn liar is what you are. You're a damn dirty liar is what you are.
Theater of the mind.
Don't throw people off here.
Off.
Lonzo drives the nicest car in the lot.
No, I don't.
The nicest car in the lot.
I do not. That person's on the Hawk and Tom show.
So
anyway.
So being a top level college football quarterback comes with some perks. I would say perk number one at this point, if you're a top level college football quarterback, perk number one, my friends, is that NIL cash. Yeah, especially if you're the type of quarterback that can lead your team to appearances in SEC championship games, very close losses, but almost to the national championship, or at least the playoffs. Carson Beck is the signal caller for the University of Georgia. And he popped up on an Instagram account on Monday. An Instagram account called Atlanta Autos. Atlanta
Autos.
It's
like Bob's, right?
No, this is a little more upscale than Bob's Used Cars.
Okay, all right. It just doesn't sound like a national chain. Sounds like a local chain.
Atlanta Autos is an Instagram account of a car dealership in the ATL that has over 153,000 followers. And if you go look at their Instagram account, they have pictures of very, very, very nice and expensive cars and pictures of multiple professional athletes and musicians, etc., who have purchased these Rolls Royces and Ferraris and Porsches from Atlanta Autos. Well, Carson Beck showed up on their Instagram account back on Monday. And Carson Beck showed up wearing a black hoodie, black sweatpants, black socks over beige Crocs for some reason. But hey, well, I guess really they're like slides. And the Atlanta Autos Instagram account sent out the caption on the picture, shout out to @Carson Beck, came through and got not the regular Lambo truck, but the Performante. And I thought, Performante? I mean, that means performance in Italian, I suspect.
Okay, I was having trouble getting there, but now you said that kind of makes sense.
But I don't know exactly what the Performante is. It's perfect for this show, but I don't know what the Performante is. So I went and looked up the Lambo Performante. And what I can tell you is that, Lonzo, the base model of this truck, showroom floor, no gadgets, no gizmos, no upgrades, no seat warmer, no Bluetooth player. I'm kidding. It definitely has those things as a base. The base model of the Lambo Performante checks in at about $275,000. Midway up the scale, you end up at a spot that could be anywhere from $370,000 to $500,000.
I got one major thing to say about this. I hope you understand the amount of money insurance would cost on something like that.
Oh, I have no doubt it is in the thousands of dollars a month.
So I hope those deals are working out really well, or you ain't keeping that.
As of right now, Carson Beck currently has deals with Zero FG Energy Drink, which, by the way, I love the name of Zero FG. That's a great name. The Players Lounge, Leaf Trading Cards, and Associated Credit Union. Those are the ones we know. I was waiting to hear that my dude had that DJ Dr. Pepper money.
Here's the thing. I mean, this is very capitalistic. He's taking advantage of the product, which he is, and getting all the things that he can get.
America.
I don't see why there's a problem with it. This is what employees of a place get.
Yeah. Again, I think
All
I
right,
love
all right.
this
Really,
story.
really good employees, I suppose.
I think I love well compensated employees. I have known some bad employees who were well compensated.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
He seems to do pretty well. So, I mean,
Again,
it could be a bad person. I don't know, but I've tried to look up the Lamborghini truck, and I keep getting this thing that looks like not even a truck. It's like
it doesn't look like a truck.
Yeah, because I'm like, am I looking at the wrong thing? That's not a truck.
No, it's more like it's like a half and half,
Do they not know what trucks are over there?
Bro, it's Lamborghini. You think they're rolling out a pickup truck?
Yeah, but why? I mean, if you're going to get a Lamborghini, why get a Lamborghini truck? I get you're in Georgia. I mean, so you can at least say, yeah, I own a truck. But
I also want a damn Lamborghini.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose.
The Urus Performante. I'll tell you what it looks like. So it looks like a Lamborghini hatchback is what it looks like.
See, that's what I was trying to think of what to call it. It definitely looks like a hatchback.
It's a hatchback. And don't get me wrong, I'm looking at the inside, and it looks like a damn jet fighter cockpit.
Oh, yeah, it's a Lamborghini. Right? It's nice, but it's not a truck.
Here, if you're not on the stream right now, now's a good time. I'll throw it up on the screen for you so you guys can see exactly what it is that we're talking about. It's a Lamborghini hatchback, is what it is.
This one is purple.
It is. It's kind of dope. You know what? That genuinely does look like a GTA car to me. All right. But look at that. Look over here. Look at the cockpit on the left, man. The thing, I feel like it probably is just too much, but also, yes, please. I saw this pop up on social earlier this week. I actually meant to get it yesterday because it came out on Tuesday afternoon. I meant to get you yesterday, but we just ran out of time. My dog. I ain't mad at you, Carson, because I'm going to tell you right now, and I've said this many times, there's going to be a day. I don't know when. I don't know how old I'm going to be. But, and this is not even making a joke. I'm dead serious. There's going to be a day where I sign $1 million salary. I don't know how I'm going to do it. I don't know what line. I don't know if it's going to be in this business or another, or if it's going to be in a dream. But there's going to be a day I'm going to sign $1 million salary.
Or if it's going to be in GTA.
Or if it'll be online. Exactly. But there'll be a day I sign $1 million salary. All right? And I'm going to go ahead and tell you, this is exactly what the hell I would do. This is exactly what I do. I would go buy a Lamborghini Urus Performante. All right? This is exactly what I do. Carson, my dog, financially responsible? Absolutely not. It's a terrible decision. $250,000 on a ride is an awful financial decision.
But the ladies probably love it.
But dog,
I mean, when you're that age and you got all that, it's still not a truck, but it's a very expensive hatchback.
Dog, and I mean that in the Georgia sense. If you got it, flown it. I ain't mad at you. I ain't mad. Some people on the internet were very upset. They were very mad. Well, I don't think it's crazy. Then college football quarterback and afford a Lamborghini, and I'm out here struggling to pay rent. Well, do something that fills up a stadium with 100,000 people, and you can afford a Lambo too. Welcome to America.
Just because you feel less talented, I mean, that doesn't. I'm talking about the people complaining about it. It's just, I mean, you know what? Again, if you believe in capitalism, get paid what you can get paid.
You find the shtick that fills up a football stadium 12 times a year, and you too can buy a Lamborghini. Don't hate the player. Hate the game.
Start a band or something, dude. You may never play on the field that way.
I did. We didn't make $1 million.
I was talking to that person.
Okay. Hey, would you look at the time? That's an hour in the books already. Just like that, bang, rolling on to hour number 2, where we're going to open up with your sports flash. Then we're going to talk some Super Bowl. Then we'll go into hour number 3 where Rashad Beard of the Panther Nation podcast will join us at 8:20. And then we'll do some prop bets. And then we roll into the final hour of the show where Lonzo and I go on the record with our Super Bowl predictions. Yes, we do it on a Thursday so we can break them down on a Friday. Then we got Fight Club. And then we call it a Thursday and roll on to the almost the weekend. It's the Rob Brown Show. And this is a Sports Flash.
Rolling. Wow, that counts. Now I'm losing. 3-2. Today is the NBA trade deadline, and it's been a surprisingly quiet trade season so far. Some minor moves have been made. Memphis sent forward Xavier Tillman to Boston for 2 second-rounders. Names that insiders say may be moved today include Andrew Wiggins and Klay Thompson in Golden State, Bojan Bogdanovic in Detroit, the Lakers, D'Angelo Russell, Andre Drummond, and Alex Caruso from Chicago, and Charlotte, Miles Bridges. The Gamecocks can't overlook Vanderbilt on the hardwood this week, but their next ranked game against Auburn just got that much bigger. The number 12 ranked Tigers knocked off number 16 Alabama last night, 99-81. Tune in Saturday at 5:30 as the Furman basketball team takes on ETSU right here on The Fan. I lose the game every week. Recap the 4 players who actually suck.
Let me see if I can pull this up. Cody Decker went to the U2 show in the Sphere last night and put up a couple of short clips.
We're going to be talking about the Sphere a little bit in Fight Club.
Are we now?
Because something was talked about yesterday on the McAfee show with Dana White.
You going to do a UFC fight in the Sphere?
You just have to wait till whatever time that segment's on.
I know it's not well, I guess I could. I don't know how to make it just the thing. But here is the inside of the Sphere. That's all LED lights.
I think McAfee said he had to pay like $30,000 for a suite.
Deck spent this is inside the Sphere, right? Look at that. That's wild.
Yeah.
That's the stage, that little colored square down on the bottom. That's the stage, and that's the back screen behind it. Isn't that insane? I'm not going to say it because it's his information to share, not mine, but Decker told me how much he paid for his tickets to take him and his mom to see U2. And you saw where his seats were.
Did he go last night?
Let me put it
because I think that's when McAfee was going too. So
a lot of the NFL guys were there last night. I will simply tell you that Deck paid 4 times for his tickets what I am paying to have a 4-hour open bar at my wedding reception. He is paying for 24 hours of an open bar for 2 nosebleeds in the Sphere.
Did he say it was worth it?
I haven't talked to him yet.
Okay.
He called me yesterday on his way in because we had talked about it on the show. And he's like, dude, this is wild. He's like, I'm in the Sphere right now. It's the craziest thing. He's like, the pre-concert show in the Sphere is the most entertaining concert I've ever been to. They're not even on stage yet.
QC in the first break.
Therefore.
Yeah!
Hour number 2 of the Rob Brown Show goes now. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I am Rob Brown. The great one, Lonzo, is on the other side of the metaphorical glass this AM. Should you wish to be a part of the radio broadcast, now's a wonderful time to do it. On the Renewal by Andersons of the Carolina fan phone at 844-326-3663, 844-326-3663. You can text us on the text line at 71307, 71307. Start your text with FAN, F-A-N. As this texter did, Lonzo, quote, Rob, I am from the upstate. I am presently in the middle of Amish country on a trip, like the epicenter of Amish country. Rob, they are real. I am stopping by the Yoder clan today and giving them your address. If you hear a clip, clop coming down Garlington Road, be afraid. Be very afraid.
You should, if a horse comes rolling up in here, galloping up in here, whatever.
Galloping up in
Yeah, if I look out and I see a horse in a buggy, I'm not leaving because I don't want to be mistaken for you.
I'm not worried about it. Because I drive a truck named after a horse that has more than 1 horsepower.
You got to make it to the truck.
I'll take my chances. Chances.
I've seen you move.
Chances.
Amish are wiry, man.
Texas says if Carson Beck was actually an employee, then fine. Employees have non-compete clauses, a set amount of hours you're expected to be in the office, and can be fired for bad performance. He's not an employee, but he should be. Well, according to the National Labor Board of Relations, he kind of is.
And he can be fired. All those stipulations they put, all those things can be applied to him.
For the record, none of those are obligatory to define you as an employee.
No, they're
okay?
not. They're not.
Not everybody has non-compete clauses. Not everybody has a set amount of hours. I'll tell you right now, Lonzo, we don't have a set amount of hours. Doesn't matter if we did. We both go over.
All right. I do have.
okay.
I'm not being, but I do. But you and I are different. I was thinking about this on the way in because I don't know what other profession has contracted employees and regular employees at the same time. You're a contracted employee.
Yep.
I'm a regular employee. So you have a contract. I don't.
Yep.
I've never even seen a contract before. So and different things apply to each person. So I actually work for the company. You're just a mercenary.
Point. A hired gun. Point here, my guys, is that they're well on their way to being labeled employees. And
this is just a rich person, man. This is someone high in business talking about non-competes.
Even if they weren't, he's got the money. So if my dude wants to buy a Lamborghini, grab that Lamborghini, big fella. Have at it.
And they used to have non-competes, but then they changed the portal standards. So now now it's been and it's still a limit on that too.
For the record, coaches have always been able to gray shirt guys and take them off the program. That is one of the things that made me pro portal is there has always been ways for coaches to cancel the scholarships of players. Didn't happen often, but it did happen. So nothing's new except they can do it too now.
You don't give me a ride in a Lambo truck, you out.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is 7:05 in the morning. You are now 55 minutes away. If you got one of those regular 8 to 5ers from punching the old pay clock, from getting your day started, you got to sit down. You got to pop off those emails back to the boss and try to respond to his or her passive aggressiveness, acting as if they don't sign your paycheck coming up this Friday. And then once you've gotten those emails fired off, you're going to stand up from your desk. You're going to stretch the old legs out. You're going to walk down the hallway, and waiting for you at the water cooler will be the rest of your employee friends, all waiting to talk sports. And in order to do that, you're going to need this.
Are you ready for the playbook of the peculiar? The almanac of the absurd and the encyclopedia of the extraordinary? Well, you better be, because we're diving headfirst into the 3 top stories that will have your coworkers saying,
Wrong, sir. Wrong.
they take their first bathroom break.
No.
Here we go.
Welcome to the water cooler cheat sheet on the Fan Upstate.
It is the water cooler cheat sheet, the top 3 stories from the world of sports that you need to know before you start talking athletic competition at work with your coworkers. This is the water cooler cheat sheet. Item number 1. Mergers happen in top-notch professional sports very frequently. Teams have ownership mergers, leagues have mergers, and they're very frequently very complicated, are they not? You've got a lot of people with lots of zeros on lots of checks involved. So there's legalese and there's lawyers and it's a lot. Okay. And sometimes the federal government has to get involved. Why? Well, they got to look out for stakeholders and shareholders. They've got to look out for the common good of the general public. Lots of times the feds have to step in and get involved. And sometimes they don't have to step in and get involved. They elect to step in and get involved. And they do so because they look at a situation and go, this seems weird. We don't like it. Let's take a look. And that is exactly what has happened with the proposed PGA Tour Live Tour merger that started making the rounds last year. There was a discussion after a couple of years of headbutting between the owners of the Live Tour and the operators of the PGA Tour that they were all just going to get over it, move on, and be buddy-buddy with each other, which was odd. You had Rory McIlroy out there saying bad words about the Live Tour. You had the guys on the Live Tour like Greg Norman out there absolutely taking a you-know-what on the PGA Tour. It was, shall we say, quite dramatic at times. Well, the merger got proposed. All of a sudden, almost everybody was starting to play nice. And then the United States Senate said, this feels off a little bit. We would like to have an inquiry into how we arrived here. You guys were lobbing grenades at each other there for a little while. Why are we all friends now? So that Senate inquiry has been going on for, a month and a half at this point, and they have been calling the power players from both organizations, subpoenaing them to come talk to the Senate committee investigating this merger. The move was announced with a lot of hype in June of last year. They put a deadline of December, and that December deadline has, and this is true as it is now February, come and gone, and the merger didn't happen, and there were questions about why. And then here we are, about a month and a half later, and we found out that the PGA Tour had just become flush with cash. The Strategic Sports Group put in a $3 billion with a B dollar investment into the tour. Now, the PGA Tour is still in talks with the Live Tour and the Saudi Arabia Public Investment Fund, their owners, about the merger itself. The Senate Committee on Homeland Security and Governmental Affairs said, wait a minute. You may not pay attention to geopolitics, but we do. And it turns out we, the United States of America, and they, Saudi Arabia, not exactly BFFs. We're not exchanging Taylor Swift friendship bracelets with Saudi Arabia right now. Hey, PGA Tour, we need to talk. Well, in the order of the subpoenas they brought in were a few of the advisory board members that were working on the Live Tour side of things. The Live Tour said, hey, we're doing a deal with the American Golf Tour. We should bring in some Americans to discuss this merger with us. So they did. Veteran investment banker Michael Klein was one of the top advisors brought in by Live Tour. He testified yesterday alongside Boston Consulting Group's Rich Lesser, McKinsey's Bob Sternfels, and Teneo Strategy Chief Executive Officer Paul Keary, all folks working as consultants for the Saudi Arabian Public Investment Fund and, by extent, the Live Tour. U.S. lawmakers slammed the advisors early in the process for not cooperating with their inquiry, noting the firms have only provided a fraction of the documents demanded by congressional subpoena. And we found out why. Yesterday, those members, or at least a couple of them, said that they were told by the Saudi Arabian Public Investment Fund that if they participated in the congressional inquiry, Saudi Arabia threatened them with 20 plus years of prison for said cooperation. Now, I'm going to say this. I don't like to victim blame, okay? I think it's gross when people do that. And I do think that sometimes people overlook forests of red flags because they see the ideal ending. Rob Brown uprooted everything in his life and moved to Jacksonville, Florida for a girl that his buddies went, Rob, don't do this. That his family went, Rob, don't do this. But Rob went, she's hot. I'm going. It's literally what happened. So I uprooted my whole life and I moved to Jacksonville, and it turned out that literally everyone in my life was right. And I put on the blinders and walked colorblind through the forest of red flags that were available to me in order to go to Jacksonville. And my life sucked because of it, if I'm being honest with you. I don't ask for sympathy for anybody or from anybody. At the same time, you know, if you meet a hot chick at the bar and then everybody says, dude, she has cheated on 165 consecutive boyfriends, and you go, I'm the one, I can fix her. It's a little on you. If mom says, don't touch the hot stove, young man, you'll burn your finger, and you reach up there and you cook the eggs to the edge of the old pointer finger, medium rare, lesson learned. It's kind of on you. Sometimes people try to warn you, not because they want to stop you from reaching the promised land, but because there ain't no promised land to be reached and only bad things can happen. I kind of look at this and go, are we in any way, shape, or form surprised that the Saudi Arabian government, when their dastardly little athletic secrets were at risk of being exposed to the United States Senate, immediately said 20 years in jail if you cooperate? You should not be shocked by that. It's Saudi Arabia. It's kind of what they do. When a journalist said, here's all the bad things that happened in Saudi Arabia, they killed him and hacked him up with a bone saw. Hell, if anything, these investment guys got off easy with only 2 decades in a Saudi Arabian prison for testifying. This whole thing stinks. For those of you that have been telling me for the past couple of years, hey, Rob, get over the Live Tour. You got to stop. You got to stop complaining. Y'all, no, because while it may not all make it to the spotlight, the Saudi Arabians, not the people who live in Saudi, but the people who govern Saudi Arabia, are bad people. They're oligarchs and they're bad people. So no, this is why I have continued to demean the Live Tour. And yes, I'm sorry, because some of my favorite golfers made the jump over. I'm a big Bubba Watson guy. He's from my neck of the woods down in the Florida Panhandle. I've rooted for that guy his whole career. He pumps millions of dollars down into a city that means a lot to me, Pensacola, Florida. Part-time owner of the minor league baseball team I used to work for. Got like 3 or 4 businesses downtown Main Street that make that economy go. Big fan. But it also doesn't mean I don't despise his decision to go to the Live Tour. And this is why. We'll come back to this later on in the show, but we do have to finish it up. Item number 2. I can't believe I'm going to do this, but I'm about to say nice things about professional sports owners. Specifically, Major League Baseball owners. Now, if you've paid attention to my show for any length of time, you know that I have a special level of disdain in my heart for Major League Baseball owners. You know, I think for the most part, when I talk about NFL owners, when I talk about NBA owners, I think for the most part, I'm pretty comfortable saying, Lonzo, that I think most of them do want their teams to do well, if only for the investment. I do think the most of the NFL and the NBA's owners want their teams to do well. They may not be capable of making that happen.
The visible ones.
The visible ones, certainly. I can say this. I got a lot of faults with Jerry Jones. The one thing that I cannot fault him, I think he gives a damn that the Cowboys represent well. There are some owners I don't think about, Gail Benson being one of my own. I'll say this about David Tepper. I do think, honestly, David Tepper wants the Carolina Panthers to be a mainstay franchise in the National Football League. I don't think he's capable of doing it, at least not the way he's been trying to, but I think he cares. Baseball owners are a different breed of cat. Baseball owners are the type of owners that, I don't know, let's go back a couple of decades. The Miami Marlins make a run into the World Series. They got a good, young, solid team. It looks like they could be on the verge of a dynasty. They make a run to the World Series, and then what does their ownership group do? They sell everybody on the team to bring the payroll back down. All right, great. We sold our season tickets. Now that money's on the books, we're going to get rid of everybody that cost us money. Now, there are some owners, the Dodgers owners, the Braves owners. There are some owners that do a good job. But most MLB owners, I genuinely think, recognize that, hey, we got 82 home games a year. We're fine. And they don't really care. Well, they're doing 2 things right now, both of which I think are actually very good for baseball. The first is the Paris Olympics of 2024 will not feature baseball. Baseball did not make it back in, but they did vote baseball in for the 2028 Olympics. And part of the reason why they voted baseball in for the 2028 Olympics is because it is being hosted by us. Los Angeles is the site of the 2028 Summer Olympic Games. And so because it is in America, America's pastime has been voted back in, and in 2028, baseball will return to the Summer Games. MLB owners, apparently, are putting together resolutions right now for the year 2028 that would cancel that year's Major League Baseball All-Star Game. The All-Star Game always takes place usually within the same window as the Summer Games. Would cancel the 2028 All-Star Game so that Major League Baseball players could play in those Olympic Games. We would get to see the baseball legends of America finally represent the United States in Olympic play. Yes, please. Let's do that. Second thing that was announced yesterday, that Major League Baseball is going to be doing a Hard Knocks-esque documentary. And it is going to be the saga of the Sox. The Boston Red Sox will be the target. It is a Netflix sports documentary. Netflix has done some great stuff over the past couple of years there. It's going to be a Netflix documentary, and that documentary is going to feature the entire season from spring training through their inevitable elimination from playoff contention in the regular season. And I'm all in for it. I love it. I've gone over and over and told you guys, I love the new era of sports media, not the hot takey radio that has suddenly become all the rage. What I love is the amount of exposure we are getting to the behind the scenes of sports. I love that we've got NASCAR taking you through the playoffs, BTS. I love that Hard Knocks is not only doing a fall camp version, but they are now doing an in-season version. If you didn't watch Hard Knocks in season with the Miami Dolphins and the coverage of that team while they were taking some lumps towards the end of the regular season, you missed out. It was very, very good. And now we get it with baseball. A sport that maybe more than any other sport needs all the positive media it can get right now is going to take us BTS with one of the most iconic sports franchises in America, maybe in the world, the Boston Red Sox. I love this. I love that the owners of Major League Baseball realized, y'all, we should probably find a way to get some attention to the sport and the superstars that play it, not just the sport. I've complained about that for years. Baseball advertisement has always been, it's the Red Sox, the Yankees, this Sunday night on whatever. Baseball has done a bleep job at promoting its stars. This is the best way to do that. The best way to let the individual personalities of these stars shine through, and I am very much here for it. Let's do this because we're late. And you'll notice once again, that was only 2 items. That is because I want to give you item number 3 when we come back here in just a minute from right now. Something I wanted to mention yesterday, didn't get a chance to. I will do it today. And yes, what I was going to say about it yesterday, even more dramatic today. I'll tell you what this thing is when we return. My name is Rob Brown, the great one, Lonzo on the ones and twos. And you, friends, are listening to the Rob Brown Show in the Fan Upstate. All right, guys, got a live read I got to do. I'll be right back after this. Don't go anywhere. All right, friends, family, coworkers, and loose acquaintances, we're back. And so glad to be, by the way.
Yeah, loose acquaintances.
Most of my acquaintances are loose acquaintances.
I guess you don't mean it the way that I thought you meant it.
Lonzo's dirty, you guys.
I just know the room. And so,
Know your audience. Zach, welcome in, my dude. The Rob Brown Show continues. It is the Fan Upstate. Robin Lonzo with you on a lovely upstate Thursday morning as the sun crests high over the hills of the upstate. Spectacular to have you with us here on the show this morning. Should you wish to be a part of it, 844-326-3663. That is the renewal by Anderson of the Carolinas fan phone. Text us 71307. Start your text with FAN, F-A-N. I have made no bones about it that I am a fan of women's basketball, especially the college level. I think if you are somebody who has used phrases to describe your love of college football as passion and integrity, et cetera, women's college basketball is right up your alley, right? This is a sport that, especially here in the state of South Carolina, with what Dawn Staley has done and made the Gamecocks once again in a year that I was told they're going to be rebuilding. Aaliyah Boston ain't walking through that door. They're undefeated again. They're number one again. They're going to be the overall 1 seed again. They're going to be the favorites going in again. And that's not to say there aren't excellent teams elsewhere. LSU under Kim Mulkey, they've had a couple of off nights here and there. I think South Carolina kind of broke them a couple of weeks ago because they've been in much more difficult contests. But you look down there at what Bayou Barbie and Haley Van Lith have been doing. Spectacular. And right now, I would make the argument that, no, I will not make the argument. I will state as a fact that Caitlin Clark is the face of college basketball, not women's college basketball. Caitlin Clark is the face of college basketball right now. Angel Reese was it last year, for sure. Haley Van Lith had her time in the sun. The Twins down at Miami had their time in the sun. Right now, I'd say Caitlin Clark is the face of the college basketball world right now. And rightfully so. What she is doing with The Rock is impressive. She is currently putting up.
You mean the basketball?
The Rock.
Yeah.
Yeah, The Rock. Oh, you thought I was talking about
You should know your role and shut your mouth.
that guy?
She doesn't want to be, she's controversial. She doesn't want to be that kind of controversial.
That's Dwayne. That's Dwayne. The Rock is gone. Dwayne is here to stay. What the hell was that, dude?
I thought that was you.
No.
Okay. No. Well, maybe it was a train. It's still doing it a little bit. Or someone's got some bass that kicks the entire building, which is definitely a possibility. But that was interesting.
Did y'all hear that?
Or it was an earthquake. I don't know.
Sincere, all right.
Yeah, I was like, man, he hit the mic again.
No.
But it was kind of a
me.
weird kind of, yeah.
Like this building just rumbled, dude. That was wild. All right. Anyway, I guess we'll just talk our way through the apocalypse here.
Maybe Lee's rocking the tens in the newsroom.
Maybe.
Just cranked it a little.
Lee's got Luda bumping. He's got Usher bumping, getting ready for the halftime show, I guess. Or it was that big ass dump truck that just came through the parking lot.
That's it.
That had to be
probably it's yeah. I was this.
I am both disappointed and relieved at the same time.
Yeah, me too. Because it could have been the tower falling and we're about to die.
Yeah. on one hand, I thought, oh, I'm about to have a very interesting day in broadcasting. The whole building shook up. On the other hand, I'm real glad we're not having a very interesting day of broadcasting because the building just shook.
What was in that dumpster to make it shake the whole
Seriously?
building?
A black hole? All right. Let's get back to this. Caitlin Clark is the face of college basketball right now. I'm not talking the women's game. I'm talking about college basketball as a whole, which is interesting because in years gone by, the men's game has really had a couple of stars that the game focused around. We've had the Obi Toppins of the world that kind of became the focus. Right now it is Caitlin Clark. And Caitlin Clark is within 64 points of becoming the NCAA women's all-time scoring leader. Caitlin Clark is averaging over 34 points a game right now, which means that as long as she has one game that is above average and one game that is average, Caitlin Clark will more than likely break the all-time record in an away contest this Saturday at Nebraska when the Hawkeyes travel to Lincoln. Let me tell you what I'm most excited about here. It's not just getting the opportunity to watch Caitlin Clark do Caitlin Clark things. It's not just, you guys know I love watching history get made in sports. I can't wait until I'm an old man and I get to come in here and go, I remember watching when Caitlin Clark broke the record. Just like I would not have, when LeBron James got the NBA's all-time scoring leader, you could not have gotten me away from a TV that night. You could have called me and gone, Rob, your house is on fire. And I would not have missed that. Okay, that's dramatic, but you get the point. I will be watching Saturday night, assuming that she has a regular game, an average game tonight. I'll be watching Saturday night when Caitlin Clark has an opportunity to break that record. I think that Caitlin Clark has got the opportunity to become a historic figure. Kelsey Plum is the former points leader. By the way, in case you're keeping track, Caitlin Clark tonight is at home against the Penn State Nittany Lions. Here's what I love about this story. What I love about this story is how much the sports world cares. And you can tell me that they don't. But right now, if you would like to sit mid-court in the lower bowl for this game, you're coming off about $2,200 to do so. If you would like to sit lower bowl behind one of the baskets, you got that 50% chance that she scores it on your end. If you would like to sit lower bowl behind one of the baskets, you're coming off around $1,300 to $1,400. If you just want to be in the building and in the lower bowl, up towards the top at a diagonal alley, one of the lesser seats in the bottom bowl, you're coming off about $800. If you just want to be in the building, you're happy to be up in the rafters, up in the nosebleeds, you're coming off about $150 for a very random women's basketball game, not a playoff game, not a tournament game, not a conference tournament game, just a Saturday night conference special. And oh, by the way, this game's in Lincoln, Nebraska. This game is not in Iowa. This is not a home game. I'll go ahead and call the shot. If this game was at home, if this game was in Iowa, these tickets would be going for double what they're going for in Lincoln. I suspect that Lincoln, Nebraska is going to have a very healthy amount of black and old yellow in it on Saturday night. But the fact that this young lady has not just commanded the attention of the sports world, but she has at this point, I think, gotten more attention turned towards women's basketball than ever before. And how has she done it? Not just being an all-time player, and she is at the college level. Caitlin Clark is one of the best I have ever seen play. I would absolutely put her up there with any of the greats of years gone by. She's up there, as far as I'm concerned, with the Candace Parkers of the world, with the Sue Birds of the world. She's in that discussion already. She has not played a possession in the WNBA. Just based on what she's doing and has done in college is pretty damn spectacular. And the fact that in an away game on a random Saturday in Lincoln, Nebraska. Now, I'm gonna go because I like to pump up details when I can. Saturday in Lincoln, it's going to be around 27 degrees with a chance of snow. This is not 72 and sunny in Miami where it's like, oh, it's Saturday, let's go to a game. Like, you got a plan to go to this game. If you want to sit anywhere close to the court, you're coming off $2,000 pop for a lower bowl ticket to a women's college basketball game in Lincoln, Nebraska on a Saturday afternoon. Game's at 1 o'clock, by the way. It's incredible to me. And I'm happy to see it. I'm happy to see it. It's deserved. Now, there are going to be some of you who don't like Caitlin Clark because she got a little bit of edge to her on the basketball court. She don't mind talking some smack. And as she pointed out last year, when she was dropping the "you can't see me" on people, and then Bayou Barbie hit her with the "where's my ring" after she bumped her out of the tourney, Caitlin Clark took the mic and said, "What do you want? That's sports. You're going to win some, you're going to lose some. We'd like to win more than we lose, but it is what it is." And she came back this year with the exact same edge and the exact same attitude and the exact same skill set and the exact same ability. It's great to watch. I am just very much going to say, if you were not busy on Saturday at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, you should probably tune in, because I think there's a very good chance she pops that mark. Now, maybe not again. 34 points a game. She needs 64. So she's got to be average or above average twice in this contest. But I think she can. She's Caitlin Clark. It's all she does. I love this chick. I love this game. I enjoy watching what they are doing right now. It's spectacular. Texter said, you can get a ticket to Sting's last match for a fraction of the cost of a Caitlin Clark game. I know you meant that as a slam on me and the Great One. I know you meant that as a joke on me and the Great One. I don't care. That's where Caitlin Clark is in the sports iconosphere right now.
Are there actually tickets still available for that?
I don't know, actually. I hope so, because I didn't buy mine.
And that's on you. I mean,
100%.
And after the events of last night, which we'll talk about in a couple hours.
I just texted Sting's, or I just Googled Sting's last match tickets, and all I got was a bunch of tickets to go see Sting in concert, which, by the way, yes, would absolutely do that. 100% would do that. It does look like there are still tickets available to Sting's last match in Greensboro, North Carolina. Upper Bowl, it's not awful though. Upper Bowl going for about $33. If you want to sit down on the floor, you're coming off about $600 to go see Sting's last match, which, by the way, is a quarter of the price it's going to cost you to sit in the same spot to watch Caitlin Clark. If you want to sit in the lower bowl for Sting's last match right now, Zoe, you're coming off about $350. The cheapest you're getting in is $35, and that is to sit quite literally in the back row of the stadium. If you want to sit in the upper bowl, but towards the bottom of the upper bowl, you're coming north of $100. $33 puts you in the very back of the stadium, very, very back of the stadium. So I may not be going to Sting's last match. I don't think I'm going to spend $100 or $300 to sit 100 yards away.
It'll be online
eventually. Watching on the big show, on the big screen.
Yeah.
Caitlin Clark, I'd 100% come off a $300 ticket to go
See,
watch her break the record. 100%.
I don't think I'm paying that much money to go see anybody, but that's, you know.
I would have had too many good memories that I have made by coming off money that people told me I was stupid for spending and then go, damn, I should have gone with you.
Maybe it's the contrarian in you that when you go to places to see things that people tell you shouldn't do,
Not
you do
just,
it
I just
anyway.
know sports is the perfect arena for memory building. And I am 100% an experience guy, not a things guy.
I will say, enjoy those memories while you can, because they will go away and you can't make them stay as you get older.
That's fair. Let's see. Texture says, imagine what the men's game would be like if it went back to requiring at least 3 years. Caitlin Clark is a true senior. She's a 4th-year senior. Took her 4 years to get to this moment.
Yeah, if she was in the men's game, I would say she's no good because she's not in the NBA.
And you'd be wrong.
No, I wouldn't. I'd be right. Which is exactly what the texters saying. You want college basketball to come back and be what it used to be, make them stay at least 3 years.
Yeah, make them.
And now
you don't get to make your own decision, adults.
All right, after the condescending thing here, now money is not the problem. Thanks to thanks to NIL, it's no longer I got to get out of here so I can make some money. You can make money, so just stay in school. So you change that requirement, and then the reason why a lot of these guys left, it's not that same reason because they're getting paid. You could be driving a Lamborghini truck that's not a truck. I mean, you could be doing that kind of stuff and still staying in school for 3 years.
The old Lamborghini hatchback. Gentlemen, do you want to have a dope ride, but still be able to drop your kids off at preschool? Do you want to impress the soccer moms with pure, raw horsepower, but also be able to bring your wife's kitchen decorations home? The all-new Lamborghini Usu Performante. Endorsed by Carson Beck. I don't know why this is my car voice commercial. My car commercial voice. I don't know how to do this.
He's a little
4.
Yeah, but I pushed it.
Falling apart in the clutch.
That's fine with I'm not surprised. You need a little more oomph in your
We've got to run to a break. When we come back, I don't know what we'll talk about, but it will be exciting. I'm Rob. He's Lonzo. This is the Rob Brown Show on the Fan Upstate. So dumb. You guys think I'd be further in my career if I was like cool as opposed to me?
I don't get that question. Can't believe I've doubled.
I was like a cool
doubled
guy.
my score in less than 2 hours.
You really did.
God.
It's a rough Thursday.
Again, at least I'm pushing the buttons that count correctly as of now. Less of me, not a bad thing today.
You're not wrong. I saw an Audi the other day, like a real nice Audi, and I only know that because I looked it up, that when it drove by me, it was just like a station wagon.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh, what?
That's not, no.
Oh, you're not even close, lady. All right, you're resetting. One of the
No.
No, you're not in the lines. She fixed. She's
The
good.
mirror's over, man.
She's good enough.
Let's do a little bit more. Go up on the sidewalk.
I mean, yesterday, one of the larger names here at the Radio Ranch was a solid 8 inches into my space. And
Literally and figuratively?
yes. No, not that one.
Okay.
A co-host of that one.
Okay.
The one that if I went in there and said, "Hey man, you're over into the parking space," would tell me to bleep off and leave the room.
Well, that's 2 of them.
No, there's one of them. There's one of them more than the other. How's that?
So it's the one that you wouldn't be afraid of.
I'm not afraid of either one of them. But
There's one
if
guy
you
there
were going to
should
be afraid of one of them, he's the only one that I would be like, okay, this would be a go.
I'd say I saw a punch from him but hurt.
John Vincent says, when is the wedding date? It is September 21st. September 21st. And we picked that date for one reason and one reason alone, John. We initially were going to do a fall wedding, but then we were looking through dates and we were like, well, what if we did summer, but we did it like somewhere a little more north than here where it's a little nicer weather. And as I scrolled through the calendar, I came across September 21st, which if you are a fan of the legendary musical group Earth, Wind, and Fire, you very much know the song The 21st Night of September. And I went, not only is my wedding date now a meme, I will never forget my anniversary because I will always remember the 21st night of September.
See, he's just being nice to me. The real reason why they moved it to the 21st is because my birthday is on the 20th.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't want to have,
Trying to steal Alonzo's shine.
Yeah, they didn't want to do that.
Obviously, when I was making the decision about my wedding date, all I could think of is, how can I make this an inconvenient date for Alonzo?
Well, yeah, I mean, you looked at it and went 20th.
Yep.
Wait.
I didn't literally,
that is already a day of celebration.
I literally had Lonzo's birthday memorized so that every year I can figure out how to make his birthday worse.
That's what friends do.
Yep. That's exactly what I did.
That is, by the way, what friends do. But, here's the thing, though. This is going to help you out as long as we work together. If I talk about my birthday, then you'll know your anniversary is the next day. So if you forgot, I am going to be your wingman and help you out.
It's an Earth, Wind, and Fire song.
So you can forget lyrics. I've heard you. So anyway.
The Rob Brown Show rolls on. It is the Fan Upstate. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Rob Brown and the great one, Lonzo. Be a part of the show, 844-326-3633. Text us 71307 on the text line. Start your text with Fan FAM. Texter says, Rob, between your old man voice and car commercial voice and Lonzo reminding us that memory fades, it's going to be a real happy Thursday. That's what we're here for, Texter, to make your life
wait
better.
Wait. It's Thursday.
It's Thursday. And you know what that means. Coming up in the final hour of the show, it's Fight Club with the great one, Lonzo. I don't know why, I lost it.
That's some wet sounding depth in there.
Coming up in the final hour of the Rob Brown Show. This is so dumb. Why am I so dumb? Do you guys think I would be successful if I was actually cool? Like Cody Decker, cool guy, Marash, cool guy.
There are plenty of people out there who think that you're a cool guy. Probably not in this building.
Probably not in this building.
But they're out there.
Oh, man. All right. We got a bunch of other stuff that I want to get into on the show today and need to talk about. Let's real quick. Matt Rule. I'm bringing this up now because we're going to talk with Rashad Beard about it coming up here in about half an hour from now. Matt Rule was the head coach of the Carolina Panthers back in 2022. Matt Rule knew about a young quarterback out of Iowa State by the name of Brock Purdy. You will recognize the name Brock Purdy because he is the starting quarterback this Sunday in the Super Bowl for the San Francisco 49ers. Matt Rule yesterday, who, by the way, is now the head coach at the University of Nebraska. Matt Rule said that in his final draft with the Carolina Panthers, he was very interested late in the draft in drafting quarterback Brock Purdy. He said, quote, I think Brock Purdy is an amazing player because I played against him at Iowa State. When I was in the draft room at Carolina, I brought his name up. I said, hey, guys, he should be on the draft board. I got vetoed on that one, end quote. Both Joe Person of The Athletic and Ben Albright of KOA Colorado subsequently added that there is at least some truth to Rule's claim that there were folks in the know who said that Rule actually did have Barack Purdy up on the Panthers draft board.
And Nicole said no.
So let me tell you what the first thought I had about this was. On one hand, I said, Matt, you sound like a broken-hearted ex-lover. You sound like somebody who is very much going to enjoy Taylor's new album. The Broken
Stop with that
Hearts Club.
disrespecting. We're just a couple days away.
Matt Rule squarely in the Broken Hearts Club. He just can't get over it. He's got a blank space, baby, and he's going to write your name. On the other hand, I don't have a problem when guys sometimes can't let bygones be bygones. I don't have a problem if something real bad happens to you that is definitively not your fault, and you tell people, because let's be real, Matt Rule's legacy in the NFL is...
All right, so in his defense, I'm guessing because the Super Bowl is about to happen, we're allowed to say that word, Super Bowl or 2 words, whatever. I'm guessing he was asked about the quarterbacks or the players in the Super Bowl. Did he just out of the blue just bring this up, or was he asked a question?
He was asked the question.
Okay, so I think in his defense, he was asked a question.
Well, so here's the thing.
So how are you lamenting when you're just answering? I'm talking about him.
I know.
A question.
Let me get where I was going with it, because I'll answer. I got no problem with Matt Rule talking trash about it, because I think at this point we all recognize that, or at least most of us recognize that the big problem so far in the history of Dave Tepper's Rule has been Dave Tepper. I don't know that any coach could have succeeded in the last few years under Dave Tepper. I don't think Hoodie could have done it. I don't think Rule or Reich or Sean Payton or anybody else could have come into this program and succeeded based on the behavior of one David Tepper. So I really don't have an issue, unlike some other people. I don't really have an issue with Matt Rule coming out and going, yo, I wanted Brock Purdy, a guy that is, checks notes, in the Super Bowl this weekend. I wanted that guy, and I got told no. In fact, if anything, for the betterment of the Carolina Panthers, there's only one way this could have been better, and is if Matt Rule actually tell us who said no. Because he said, I got vetoed on that one. And that's fine. Brock Purdy was a guy who was not drafted until the very end of the NFL draft. You know what other teams did not have him high on the draft board? Any of them. That's why Brock Purdy is the San Francisco 49er.
Did he say what round he wanted to draft him
He did not. He just said on the board.
So it could have been final round he wanted to draft.
It could have been final pick. It doesn't matter. He was on that board. And Matt Rule said, I wanted this guy, and I got told no. There is only one more level to the story. I don't have a problem with Matt Rule talking about it. I don't have a problem with him pointing this out. I don't have a problem with him defending himself because, like I said, even if Matt Rule was kind of a goober in the NFL, which is what college football coaches are when they come up to the league, by and large, so was Urban Meyer and Steve Spurrier and all these other guys, all goobs when they were in the NFL. Very few Pete Carrolls out there. The point here is I got vetoed on that one. By who? Because if Matt Rule says I got vetoed by David Tepper, I got vetoed by Nicole Tepper, nobody else, just the Teps, then all of a sudden there's a big bullet in the gun. There's a Super Bowl quarterback right there that could have been a Panther, and you passed on him because the owner knows more about football than the football guys. That is a problem. You know what's not a problem? Lonzo nailing this Sports Flash.
We'll see if I can prove you wrong there.
Sports Flash.
Sports Flash. Baseball will not be played in the Paris Olympics this year, but is slated to return when the games are hosted in LA in 2028. And they may feature MLB players once again. It was reported yesterday that owners have begun discussions about canceling the All-Star game usually held around the same time as the Olympic Games to allow players to represent their countries. The Gamecocks can't overlook Vanderbilt on the hardwood this week, but their next ranked game against Auburn just got that much better. The number 12 ranked Tigers knocked off number 16 Alabama last night, 99-81. The same Alabama team that beat South Carolina by 27 a couple weeks ago. Carolina and Auburn will be a matchup of top 15 teams next Wednesday night. We are your exclusive home for the Super Bowls. Tune in at 2 p.m. this Sunday.
We are actually not doing a bridal party for this.
Bridal party. Is that the
Groomsmen and bridesmaids.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know that's what that was called.
Yeah, bridal party. We're not doing a bridal party.
Wow.
We just don't want to.
55 years on this here earth. And I don't recall ever hearing that it was called a bridal party. Proof that you can learn something every day. And when you learn something, that's a great day. Not being sarcastic. Learning is awesome. Unless you learn
Listen to Uncle Zoe, kid.
unless you learn that you suck. If you learn that, well, probably not a lot you can do about it.
Nope.
What's the matter, dear? I just learned that I suck. How do you know? Because everyone told me. So it's got to be true.
Because everyone told me.
Everybody.
Everyone I came across today said, you suck.
Smith and James in the first break.
10-4.
Wow, are you not allowed to say their names? The San Francisco quarterback.
I heard that too.
It's like,
that was very
like,
interesting.
okay.
That was very
Did they both say, you better take my name out your
the
mouth?
San Francisco quarterback.
He also said the Kansas City quarterback.
Did he really?
Yeah.
I really do wonder what the reason for that is.
It was an endorsement by Hyundai. So maybe neither one of them drives Hyundais. And so you can't use their names. I don't know. It was weird. you're reporting something factual, the names of those quarterbacks will actually be playing in the Super Bowl. I'm not cracking on Hyundais because I used to have one. So I looked like Mr. Incredible. It was awesome.
The third hour of the Rob Brown Radio program goes right now. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It is the Fan Upstate. I am Rob Brown. On the other side of the metaphorical glass, the Sultan of Swag, the Professor of Perfection, the Wizard of Wave himself, Alonzo, is here.
Hey, Big Daddy, how you doing?
Doing great. Doing great. It's Thursday. Just one more full show stands between us and Super Bowl Sunday.
Yeehaw!
Why? Oh, why are we saying in promotional material Super Bowl instead of the big game, TM? It's because we are your home for the Super Bowl coming up on Sunday. We have coverage starting for you at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. We are taking you up through 4.5 hours of pregame. 4.5 hours of pregame, followed by kickoff starting at 6:30. We will take you through the entire 4 quarters of the Super Bowl. And then even have some postgame for you. You are looking at roughly 9 hours of Super Bowl coverage right here and only on the Fan Upstate. And, of course, big game coverage on the Fan Upstate is presented by Solo Stove. Feel the heat of the world's most popular smokeless fire pit. Go to solostove.com.
So when you're the out about town kind of guy, the guy that goes to many parties.
I do.
Me being the introvert, I
I'm going to a
don't
party
do that
Sunday.
sort of thing. What is the perfect time to start your Super Bowl party?
4 o'clock. I'd say a good 2 hours of pre-gaming for me is about the ideal window. Like about 2 hours.
Is there pacing involved so that you are aware, let's say, when the game is actually
I
on?
think it depends on the attack, right? Depends on how you want to get after it. You and I, we got a 3:30 a.m. alarm the next day. So this year.
Yeah, the game would be over pretty quick. I mean, so you could probably sleep it off by then, couldn't you? Or do you hang around after
If
the
Rob
game?
Brown was 25 years old, Rob Brown would go hard in the paint and be just fine. Rob Brown is staring down the barrel of 39 years old. So I have learned that the hangovers hang over a lot more than they used to. Back in the day, I will tell you this, and I can tell you this story now because I, A, don't work for that person anymore, and B, I'm too old to do this now. But when I worked a morning show back in the day, when I was 25 years old, as a matter of fact, and had a morning show on a station down in the Destin, Fort Walton Beach, Florida area, on Monday nights, there was a little bar called KJ's. It was the divest dive bar you've ever been in. I want you to think of like a dive bar from a movie about another dive bar. That's what this bar was, right? This bar was spectacular. And there was a band that played named Rochambeau. They still play. They're very good. Every time I go home, I go see them. Rochambeau played on Monday nights, and I would regularly on Monday nights, I would be at KJ's. This band would call me up. I'd play with them for about a half an hour, 45 minutes on Mondays. And then I would sit there, and they did 50-cent Jell-O shots and $1 Miller Lights on Mondays. And so I knew the owner of the bar, a guy named Jim, phenomenal dude. I would sit there. And on Monday nights, I would knock back 7, 8, 9, 10 Jell-O shots, 7, 8, 9, 10 Miller Lights for $1. I would then walk, because my apartment at the time was about, I don't know, 1/10 of a mile away, like 2 streets over. I would walk home. I would go to sleep. I would sleep for an hour and a half, I'd get up and go to work and be perfectly fine. Come home, sleep through the day. I was effectively nocturnal. I don't have that superpower anymore. If Rob Brown takes one too many shots of brown liquor to the face on a Saturday, my Sunday is ruined. There are days now where if I take one too many shots of brown liquor to the face on a Saturday, my Monday is ruined.
So speaking of Monday, so next Monday, let's say Kansas City loses, so we won't have to deal with a hungover Rob and a sad Lonzo.
No, you're not going to have to be. Listen, let me tell you where I am in my life now.
Or Monday could be an excited Lonzo because, Kansas City just won the Super Bowl.
Rob's biggest bet of the year is on the Chiefs.
And Rob went straight moderation and he's full and ready to go.
Rob still enjoys.
By the way, I'm not just talking about the drinks because the food is usually plentiful at a Super Bowl party, and you can go too hard on the food and it can affect you the next day too. I am
only talking about the drinks because I can still go in the kitchen.
Okay. All right.
Still go.
All right. I enjoy your confidence.
I am talking about the drinks. Let me tell you where I stand in my life. I drink on Friday nights and only on Friday nights now. Now, let me scratch that. When I say drink, I mean drink. I will have a drink on a weeknight, I'll make myself a little Jaeger and root beer, a little Jack and Coke, Captain and Sprite, big Captain and Sprite guy. If you haven't had a Captain and Sprite, it tastes like a cream soda. It's one of my favorites. I'm a big mixed drink guy. All right. Every now and then I'm feeling a little loosey goosey. I'll make a gallon of my dad's rum punch. Right. You just gotta jump in every now and then. But if I'm going to drink now, I only do it on Fridays because if I get carried away and have 1 to 5 too many, then I know my Saturday is shot and my Sunday becomes rehab and recovery day.
Yeah, but do you go as hard on Friday as you used to since you have, I believe, a nationally syndicated radio program on Saturdays?
Exactly. No, the answer is no, because not only do I have one on Saturdays, but it's every bit as loud and obnoxious as this one. If it was a golf Saturday show, I probably wouldn't care. Hey, guys, welcome in. It is the foursome with Rob and Cody Decker. Great to have you guys. We're going to be talking a little bit of Masters today, just a month and away from getting it on in Augusta, Georgia. I would still say things like getting it on.
Yeah, I was going to say that didn't fit too well with. I don't hear Jim Nantz saying that.
The number of golf innuendos is just, it's right there, right? But no, the Saturday show is as loud and obnoxious, so I can't even go as hard as I used to. I don't want to, though. I just can't do it anymore. The hangovers are no joke. So Sunday, like last year, for instance, when we were in the 9 to noon slot after the Super Bowl, last year I could go to the Super Bowl party and have myself 5-6 beers and be fine because I wasn't getting up until 7:30, 8 o'clock the next day. Now that the alarm goes off at 3:30 and I don't have a choice but to immediately get up, I can't be knocking back that many brewskis like I used to. When I first got here and I was in the noon to 3 p.m. slot, I'd have gone hard as hell on a Sunday night because who cares? I'm getting up at 10 in the morning. I'm good.
So are you no longer an advocate of moving the game to Saturday?
Oh, no, move the game to Friday night if we can. But yes, move the game to Saturday. I do not understand why the hell the Super Bowl is on a Sunday still. I don't understand
because it's Super Bowl Sunday. Duh.
Because this sounds much better when you say Super Bowl Sunday. Super Bowl Saturday has the same ring, man.
No, it's got too much chance for lisp.
Super Bowl Saturday. Just move it to, why are we doing this on a Sunday? Like, I appreciate that at least it kicks at 6:30 on Sunday.
Which, Zach mentioned on the stream, which you can check us out on the stream, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, or the X. I'm glad with it being, I think that's a perfect time for me. And I only care about me. So, I mean,
Zach asked why it starts at 6:30 and not like 8. For those of you that are making a huge mistake with your life and do not join us on our live stream every day. The answer is that's prime time. Yes, I know Sunday Night Football does not air there, but NFL is on from 1 o'clock in the afternoon all the way up till then. You got a little 1 hour break to recap the day before kickoff of the Sunday night game, but that is prime time. Super Bowl Sunday prime time being at 6:30 means that you are starting the Super. By the way, kickoff in California is at 3:30 in the afternoon. That sounds amazing.
2 words for you, California.
I don't think California's complaining at all. I wish listen, if we're gonna play the game on Sunday, play it at 3:30 in the afternoon.
Oh, I'm good with
Hell
that
yeah.
too. Although, 6:30 is perfect for food. I mean, because it's right around supper time for a lot of people, so it just works out really good.
6:30 is a good time to start the game. It's not like there is absolutely a 2:30. You can't kick the Super Bowl off at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. It's just too early, which is also 9 o'clock California IA time. Too early. 6:30 is fine. But the ideal situation is kick it off at 7 p.m. on a Saturday. Just move the damn game. It's your game.
All right, that doesn't work for me. So I'm glad it is where it is to accommodate me.
Oh, sure. For sure.
When I'm gone,
then you guys can move the game.
then you guys can move the game.
Yeah, let me get up out of here. Then you guys can move the game.
Unless you want to leave it there for another year in remembrance. I'd be all right with that too.
We'll just change the name. The Lonzo Bowl.
It's got a ring to it.
The Super Bowl.
Well, I don't know about that.
Move it to Saturday. Move it to Saturday so that I can knock back a couple of whiskey sodas and not have to regret it the next day, man. Like, just move the game. Why are we not moving the game? Honestly, you know what's fun? No one's ever actually been able to give me a good reason why we don't. The reason I always get is because that's the tradition.
I'm sure it had something to do with the AFL and the NFL.
Yeah, I'm sure there was a good reason back in the day.
During the merger when the game first came about. And to me, at least back in the day, the only day that football was on, NFL football, was Sunday. So it made sense to put it on the day that it's on. And Saturdays for college football. It still is. We get some NFL games in the end of the year when college is done. But when you think NFL, primarily you think Sunday.
I don't care. I don't care. Like the hottest take that I have thrown out that has gotten me in the most trouble over the years is I don't give a damn about your traditions. I don't care. I want what is best for everybody. And the Super Bowl being on Saturday would be best for everybody.
What if what's best for everybody is it to be on Sunday? Because I don't know how you're
There's
speaking
no
for
world
everybody.
in which it is.
You're not speaking for me. You're not speaking for a lot of people like me who don't do certain things. So it doesn't matter what day it's on.
You are in such a drastic minority of people.
I'm not
because
not.
the majority of people who have to work on Saturdays also work on Sundays. So it doesn't matter. It's not better on a Saturday and a Sunday for them.
Really?
Yes.
I don't think
As
so.
a former person who worked on Saturdays, if I was working a Saturday, I was also working a Sunday.
Still work on Saturdays, dude.
Yeah, I really do.
And you don't work on Sunday.
Just move the damn game to Saturday, please. Rob wants a drink for
Wow. I mean, there are certain 12-step programs.
I don't need one.
And double letter
I'm a very good
things
drinker.
that you can go to.
I've been practicing my whole life. Just give me the buffer day, please.
Wow. Practice doesn't make perfect as far as this goes.
Yeah, it does.
Especially when you've already talked about that you're going to be going light on Sunday anyway.
Yeah, because I got to work on Monday. If the game was on Saturday, I wouldn't have to.
So you should no longer advocate for your supposed majority that want it moved to Saturday.
I'm going to go ahead and call the shot.
Be a
right now.
responsible adult.
I am. Move it to Saturday so I don't have to impact Monday. That is
Well,
literally
you just
the
talked that there are
responsible decision.
people working on Sunday, so you're affecting them now.
Rashad, you want the Super Bowl moved to Saturday? Just shake your head yes or no.
By the way,
Yeah, exactly.
shaking your
Exactly.
head is a negative. Nodding your head is here's
Oh, God.
shaking
All
your
right,
head.
Chris.
Here's nodding
All right,
your head.
Chris, we're going to break.
By the way, I just want you to be right.
Rashad Beard from the Panther Nation podcast joins us in the next segment. We will talk Carolina football. Matt Rule said he wanted to draft Brock Purdy, but he got told no. We're going to talk about that as well as the rest of the coaching roundup that has been taking place and whatever else Rashad wants to talk about. It's coming up next on the Rob Brown Show in the Fan Upstate.
Smith.
All right, guys, stepping away for a quick live read, then we're right back with Rashad. Don't go anywhere.
Uh-oh. Oh, no.
Rashad Beard, what's up, big dog?
guys? What's going on? What's
How you
going
doing,
on?
partner? You all right, man?
Good. Yeah, I'm good. All is well.
Love to hear it. Love to hear it. Welcome to the PNP Army, showing up strong as always.
Yeah, man. Appreciate y'all coming through every Thursday.
The Rob Brown Show continues. It is the Fan Upstate. Great to have you. Shoot us a text, 71307. Start your text with FAN, F-A-N. We read them on the air. You can tweet me at The Rob Brown Show on Twitter, at The Rob Brown Show. Lonzo is at Lonzo on Word. On Thursdays, we welcome into the broadcast a host of, I believe, to be the most prolific. Yeah, I'm going to go with that. Panther podcast.
It is a word. You're like.
I think I used it good. I think I used it right. I think I used it well, correctly.
What would I know? But yeah, I think you did a good job.
The Panther Nation podcast, hosted by Rashad Beard, who joins us to talk a little Panther ball. What's up, big dog?
What's going on, guys? Happy to be here. It's good. Let's get it.
Let's get it. Let's jump in, man. We got about 20 minutes to talk some Panther ball. Let's start with Matt Rule. I know, very exciting. Matt Rule said yesterday when talking about Brock Purdy, who, and this is true, will be starting a Super Bowl on Sunday, that he was on Matt Rule's draft board. He said, I played him when he was at Iowa State. I knew he was a dog. I wanted to draft him, and I got vetoed. I walked away with one question. Rashad, I don't care that Matt Rule is defending himself still. I would too. Your reputation in the league is a joke. And if you can pin the blame on that on somebody else, go bananas. Like, we can all talk smack, but we get it. Sometimes you defend yourself. The only thing I want to know is who vetoed him, right? Because he said, I got vetoed. Who did it? Because if Tep or his wife stepped in and vetoed him and it wasn't the football administration, then all of a sudden that's one more bit of damning evidence against the owner of this football franchise. If it was Fitterer, I would still say it's a Tepper problem. If not, it's on Matt Rule. The only question I had, the only response I had was, I want to know who said no.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot really to unpack here with this whole Purdy and Rule situation. But yeah, I mean, Matt Rule had final say. It's been proven and said multiple times that he's had final roster say, including when he drafted a long snapper, and nobody batted an eye there. But it's a really weird situation with Matt Rule. I get it from his, and this is really kind of weird, me defending Matt Rule. I get it because listen, we were kind of better off with Matt Rule, and we've kind of gone downhill. And for him to sit back and look at what's going on with the Carolina Panthers now, he can kind of point and laugh. I mean, hey, y'all wanted me out of there, but look, hey, things got worse. So I kind of get him taking a quick little victory lap. Over the long haul, I think we're going to be okay without Matt Rule. But I do kind of I don't knock him for saying, hey, wasn't me, it's you, kind of thing. So I get it. But at the end of the day, listen, it doesn't matter whether he got vetoed in bringing Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy would not be the Brock Purdy he is with San Francisco here in the Carolinas. This is point, but it doesn't matter at the end of the day.
I'm glad you said that, Rashad, because it brings me to the second thing that I wanted to get to. I've been making the argument for a while. Cam Newton was right. Brock Purdy's a game manager. That's not a bad thing. Most quarterbacks who win Super Bowls are game managers. And when you have a talent like McCaffrey, like Debo, like Ayuk, like Juszczyk, like Kittle, I want a game manager. Get the ball to the dudes who make plays. He would not have had anywhere close to that talent in Carolina. Somebody else who agreed with that, certified knower of ball, C.J. Stroud, yesterday came out and said he believes that Bryce Young did not have the talent around him to have a successful first year, something that your boy has been saying for months and taking crap for it. CJ Stroud said, dude, I don't think anybody could have succeeded there. The talent wasn't there. As much as a rough shot as that is at the roster building of the Panthers, CJ knows ball and he's right, Rashad.
Yeah, I mean that's the truth. I mean, we've been saying that for good, I don't know how long. We've been saying that the talent around Bryce Young is not sufficient. It's doesn't take a. I have an associate's knower of ball, and I can attest that he he didn't have the talent around him. You know what I mean? So I think that it's the truth. And had BY had some more talent around him, things would be, had he been on the 49ers, I can assure you that they would be winning the Super Bowl on Sunday. You know what I mean? So it's just, we got to get better. We got to get better. The talent, come on now, Zoe. You believe this.
No, I don't. Remember,
CJ's wrong?
No. He said he'd be winning the Super Bowl on Sunday. That's what I'm shaking my head about.
It's too far, huh?
Yeah, that's a little too far. We'll see.
Step the line a little bit.
Rashad said, I have an associate in knowing ball. That's good. Rashad Beard, host of the Panther Nation podcast, joins us here on the Rob Brown Show on Thursdays to talk Carolina football. So let's go down that path then. If CJ Stroud and Rashad Beard and Rob Brown, all certified ball knowers, are correct and the talent's not there, the next big step is free agency, right? Like, we got to get the Super Bowl out of the way Sunday. We got a few days off, and then it's time to dive headfirst in. I know the easy answer is go get one of those wide receiver free agents. Go get a T. Higgins, somebody that can be the wide receiver one. Knowing that is probably a guarantee at this point, what else are we looking for?
Yeah, got to get some offensive line help. We need some depth there. I'm not trusting of our interior play. I know Canellis has a task ahead of him when it comes to putting that offensive line in the best position to succeed. We've seen that offensive line have success in prior years in a power run scheme. Canellis does run a more of a zone run scheme. So we have to see how he's going to get the best out of what he has. If he views that roster is not sufficient, we need to go out there and get some more help, whether you're going to shift around. And he's done a lot of this with Tampa. He's moved the guys around to put them in a better position to succeed, whether that's moving Icky into guard, finding another left tackle. He may have to shuffle the offensive line. He may not have to shuffle the offensive line. So that's the most interesting thing for me going into the offseason is what we do up front, because it starts there. I mean, no matter how many weapons you have, no matter how great your scheme is, you got to be able to hold up front, and we've got to check that box. So I hope that we can figure out a configuration of the offensive line that is going to help Bryce Young. But yeah, offensive line 1A, wide receiver 1B. We've got to get that done. Defensively, I think we need to go out and find another pass rusher. I don't know what we're going to do with Brian Burns. It's so much up in the air. I mean, we got Tillis, we got Dan Morgan. They've got some tasks, some really big decisions to make when it comes to free agency. I'm excited. I'm really excited about free agency. I think Canellis is going to talk his way into landing some good talent here. I know we talk about, hey, they've got to want to come to Carolina. But when you listen to this man talk, I believe he can sell water to a whale. And I think we're going to be able to get some guys in here.
Rashad Beard, host of the Panther Nation podcast here on the Rob Brown Show in the Fan Upstate. Dave Canellis has been in the building about a week now, gotten an opportunity to kind of get to know him a little bit better. We talked a little bit about his intro presser. I don't think you and I have gotten the opportunity to talk since Dan Morgan and Dave Canellis got introduced. I was watching your live string, and I appreciated the couple of times you called cap on Dan Morgan for some of the stuff he was saying. But one thing that stuck out to me from Dan Morgan's intro was he kept going back to, we got to find dogs. We got to find guys. We got to find like dudes who want to be here and want to win. And I did not know if I should take that as that means Dan Morgan thinks you don't have those guys on the roster right now, or it just means that moving forward, you have to go in that direction. What was your take when he kind of kept going back to that talking point?
Yeah, I like it. I mean, as applying my associates in knowing of football, I believe that we don't have any dogs. We don't have many of them. We have a few for guys like Frankie Louvu, guys like Derek Brown. Though it reminds us of the good old days back when Dan Morgan was on this Super Bowl appearing roster, right? And so we've lost ourselves. We've lost the culture. And one thing that stuck with me was he said, man, people got to pull up to Bank of America Stadium, fear the logo. Like, that's what we've been missing. We've been missing that here in Carolina. And I do agree with them. And maybe it was taking some shots at a couple of guys on the roster. Hey, hit dogs holler. If you feel like it applied to you, then maybe you're not the right people here in Carolina. So I agree with them. I agree with them. We got to get some dogs in the building. And listen, it all sounds great. It all sounds great. But we have to see what moves are made. You have to kind of work within a box. We don't have the best cap situation. We're going to have to move on from some guys. We have to make some important decisions. But I agree with it. We got to get some guys in here that are going to rep for the Carolina Panthers and fight hard. We just haven't seen it. We haven't seen it over the past couple of years.
Dave Canellis got his introduction. It was very interesting, Rashad, because I did not know the backstory of Dave Canellis, right? He had a struggle with alcohol addiction, with infidelity towards his wife. They stuck it out. And Canellis, from what I understand, very clean guy, very committed guy now. I kind of, and maybe this is me thinking with the optimistic side of my brain, the side of my brain that just is going to find the green flag in the ocean of red flags around me. It happens. I listened to that story. I read up on that story. I've not gotten a chance to read his book, but I certainly am going to at some point. I kind of looked at it and went, man, if you can fight through that kind of adversity in your real life, football should be easy, right? Like, if you can come through something like that, then fixing a franchise really should be less of a challenge, in my opinion. What was your Dave Canellis read at the end of that? Or is Rob Brown just being too much of a damn optimist right now?
Yeah, I think you got some glasses on right now. They're kind of, I don't know, rosy color. But listen, I like the guy. I mean, it's hard not to like this guy. He speaks very well. What he was saying at his press conference, he said the right things. But at the end of the day, man, guys like me, we're tired of the talk. We're tired of the guys that can just talk about it and not have any action behind it. And when it comes to Sundays, it not be applied on the football field. That all sounds great. All the book writing, hey, more power to you. But I need this team to go out there and win. And I don't care. I know this sounds kind of crazy, but I don't care about his marriage. I don't care about all that. I want to see W's in Bank of America Stadium on Sundays. And I think a lot of us feel that way. You know, more power to him getting over that stuff. I agree. Some of that personal stuff is tough. He deserves some credit for overcoming all that. But I want to see W's on Sunday, man. That's my therapy. Help us out. Help us fans out. We need to see some W's around here. So hopefully he can bring it. Again, he's talking, he's saying all the right things. He's got I heard him on top 40 channels, man. His media tour is crazy. The rollout has been nuts. It's all been sounding and looking good, but I need to see what happens. And it starts with free agency, like we said earlier. We got to make the right decision to free agency, and then in the draft, and then in training camp OTAs, we'll see what we got. I
respect it. I mean, you're kind of at a point. It sounds like you're kind of at a point where there's really nothing that Dan Morgan or Dave Canellis or hell, even Dave Tepper can say right now that's going to win you over. The only thing that's going to win you over at this point is not sucking anymore.
Yeah, action. We need action, man. And again, we've been talking for 6 years. We've been talking for 6 years about how we're going to make this thing better. We're talking about analytics. We've been talking about not being mediocre, and it's time to get it right. It's time to turn the ship. And unfortunately, it all lands on Canellis, and the pressure, he's going to feel it. Like, he's all on Twitter, and it's all great now. Everything is all good. But as soon as those L's start to pile up and no progress is getting made, I can assure you that he will be ran off of X. And I can tell you that this fan base is tired. We want to see some W's, and unfortunately, that's just the nature of what's been handed to him.
The most interesting thing of that press conference to me didn't involve Dan Morgan, didn't involve Dave Canellis. Apparently, and I wish I could remember. I don't remember which reporter quoted him. I wish I could to give him credit, but they said that after it was over, they approached Dave Tepper to get his opinion, his thoughts on the presser. And Tepper said, paraphrasing, but very close to it, I'm not answering questions right now. I'm in the background now. And it's kind of one of those things where I think all of us have been on a date before, Rashad, with somebody out of our league, and you kind of say things that maybe aren't totally true about yourself to kind of make yourself look a little better. And you're like, I'll work on it while I totally lie to her about being this thing. that's kind of the vibe I get from Tepper, right? Like, that's the right thing to say. That's what we all want to hear. But at the same time, I kind of feel about Dave Tepper the way you feel about Kanellis and Morgan of, bro, I will believe you have done the right thing and stepped back when I don't see your quotes popping up in the newspaper anymore, man.
Yeah, that was Joe Person from The Athletic that that reported that. And so, and again, I've talked to some people that were in the building that were close to that conversation. And it was, I think the way it was said was a little misconstrued. I believe it was more of him being facetious. No, I'm not going to answer your questions. Because I'm in the background. This is what y'all wanted. So that's the way. No, in all seriousness, that's what was. Shout out to Vashti from the Carolina Blitz. She's the one that was close. She didn't record it, but she was very close to that conversation. And she's the one that has reported that's how he said it. It wasn't that saying that, hey, I'm in the background now, guys. I'm not gonna. No, it's more of a, hey, you guys wanted me in the back. All your reporting has said I've been making all these decisions, but no, I'm in the background now. So no, I'm not going to answer any of your questions. So that's how it was said. And so I can absolutely see David Tepper being, a little obnoxious and saying it that way. But that's okay. According to multiple reports, that's how he said it.
That's real interesting.
It's
not just interesting. That's real bad, man. Because the only thing that could be worse than what Tep was doing is if Tep's got a vendetta while he's doing it now, man. I'll tell you, we've said this before. I'll say it again. If that's true, and Rashad, he was just being a smart ass to be one, good luck, dude. Good luck.
Yeah. I mean, listen, it's believable. I'll tell you that. It's believable.
Oof.
You know what I mean? So
I got to tell you, I was real excited about this interview today. I'm like, all right, we had the presser. Like, it felt pretty good. You're right. You got to see action, but they're saying and doing all the right things. And that just feels like a kick to the gut, dude.
Yeah. I mean, it's just the reality. I mean, listen, I like the hires. Everything he's done so far, I'm not mad at it. I'm judging everybody on their actions right now, not what they say. Right? So he could say all he wants, but the actions of going out there and getting a sportsology and a hiring firm to help him out, those are actions that I can agree with, right? Him hiring Kanellis, young offensive mind, I agree with it. Dan Morgan, I like Dan Morgan as a person, but was he my first choice? Not really, but I do like the fact that Kanellis and Morgan have a prior history. So I like the decisions that have been made so far. So I'm not really worried. It's more about the actions, man. I care more about actions than actual words. So I'm not overly concerned about David Tepper and him, saying, oh, I'm in the background saying it facetious. I don't really care about that, man. Let's get W's and let's see the action on the field.
Rashad Beard, host of the Panther Nation podcast, joins us every Thursday to talk Carolina Panther football here on the Rob Brown Show and the Fan Upstate.
Yeah. Before you let him go, I want to know what he thinks about Sunday, because he's got an associate. So that means, he's qualified. Yeah.
The old AA and no ball. What do you think about the game Sunday?
Yeah, man, I'm rooting for the Chiefs. I'm a Swiftie for the Sunday. And listen, I gotta cheer against Christian McCaffrey, Wilkes, Sam Darnold. I cannot allow them to win a Super Bowl. And listen, certified hater mode activated. I don't want them winning.
Hater mode.
I don't want them winning the Super Bowl. What do I look like cheering for those guys? Yeah. Exactly.
All right, so this is a surprise because I think a lot of Panther fans will
absolutely not.
Okay.
Absolutely
right.
not. Hater mode activated. I don't want those guys winning a Super Bowl. No, you can't. You can't leave us and then go win a Super Bowl. No, that's not how it works. I'm hating. Swifties.
Listen, I will acknowledge Rashad Beard. I'm out of shame. I left that in my 30s. All right. Team Swiftie all day. Have been, will stay forever. I love Tay-Tay. It is what it is. But you are telling me there's no love in your heart for CMC right now.
Absolutely not.
Damn, dog, you are a hater. For real. Like, not even kind of a hater.
What?
Full out, certified, grade A, prime hater territory.
I completely respect this. This is mode. Awesome. Yeah, there we go.
Mode activated. Listen, once you leave the vicinity of the Carolinas, I have no love for you. no matter the circumstances.
Dude, but that makes sense if you got to an off season and CMC was like, bleep y'all, I'm out, right? Like if he demanded his way, he didn't ask to go. He got sent, my man. What are we doing?
I don't care. Hater mode activated.
Haterade and eat their hater tots.
That's terrible, Rashad. That's terrible.
Hey,
I think
it is what it is.
In the 2 years, man, that we have been doing this, we've been having you on. I've been pimping the Panther Nation podcast down here in the upstate. I think this is the first take you've had. We butted heads a couple times. This is the first take you've had that I'm gonna say that's a bad take, dude. That's a bad take.
Hater mode activated. I do not care. I do not care. I don't want this. I don't want you to leave Carolina. And then it's like multiple.
Bro, he didn't want to leave, dude. Y'all kicked him out.
I do not care. Once you leave, it's over. It's about what's on. It's about this Panther right here. It ain't about players, man. Once you out of here, I don't care.
That's true fan perspective. This made my day.
I gotta tell you, Rashad.
Just because I'm wearing a Kansas City shirt has nothing to do with it. This made my day.
I got my hands down biggest bet of the year on Kansas City in the money line, not even the points, straight up money line. Kansas City win. Biggest bet of the year. Rob Brown wins this bet on Sunday. I'm buying some expensive whiskey next week. And you just kind of got me team 49er with that, man. Like you just kind of pushed me against my own bet now.
Hey, man, a lot of people feel this way. A lot of people won't say it. Like a lot of Panthers fans are hating.
Wait, bro, half your listeners in the comments right now are dunking on you, Rashad.
It's all right. It's all right. A lot of people feel the way I feel. Some people in there feel the way I feel too. Call those people out. Listen, I'm a hater, bro. Like you can't go to another team and win a Super Bowl. Nah. Nah, look, that's hate. I'm hating.
I think one of the most important things you can learn in life, Rashad, is how to acknowledge and be true to yourself. And I respect the fact that you are now hosting the haters ball and you're owning it, man.
I'm hating. You cannot win Super Bowl, man. Listen. Hey, congratulations if he does. I mean, you are a great.
No, you can't.
No. Hold on. Look at all these people lining up on Rashad's side. You said they weren't there, and they're popping up, and they're right there.
Exactly. So listen, CMC is a great player. Don't get me wrong, but at the end of the day, bro, listen. You cannot leave the Carolina Panthers and immediately, like 2 years, we just broke up. Like you can't do that. Like I'm hating. Don't you? Okay, Rob. Let me ask you this. Okay, let me ask you this. You got an ex girl. You know what I mean? She's Jacksonville. She's great. She's great. You go see her with another man, and he looking great. Ain't no hate in that.
All right, hang on. If I dumped her, all right, if I split with her, if I said, hey, it's me, not you, and we move on, that's one thing. Right. If I come home and I catch her doing her personal trainer in the bed I sleep in, that's when I'm going to hate. All right?
Right. You hating, man. It's too soon, man. It's too soon.
I'm hating. You just said you hope a dude who did everything for your team and then y'all kicked him out. You hope he loses the biggest game of his career.
You would hate, too. You would hate, man. I'm sorry. I'm owning this. Hater mode activated.
Bro, all right, listen. If CMC was doing this in New Orleans right now or Atlanta right now, I'd be like, okay, I get that.
That's
okay,
selective hate. That's selective
correct.
hate.
I agree.
My hate is applied blanket. Listen, it's this or that. I got
everybody's catching smoke. Rashad Beard, host of the Panther Nation podcast. You can find them on Twitter at Panther Nation PC. More importantly, make sure you look them up on YouTube. Toss them a follow. Wade through the hate because they do get to some good stuff on the pod. Appreciate you, big dog.
Man. Hater mode activated. Haters unite.
Full speed of hate. I love it. See you next week, fella.
All right, guys. Thanks.
Rashad Beard of the Panther Nation podcast here on the Rob Brown Show and the Fan Offset. We got to take a break. Short segment to wrap up this hour when we come back, and then it's 1 hour left until the Friday edition. Y'all stick around. The Rob Brown Show rolls on. It is the Fan Offset. Love it. Love it. And those of y'all from the Panther Nation PC, if y'all want to switch over to the Rob Brown Show stream, just search it on YouTube. We're staying live for the next hour and 13 minutes.
Now I'm really worried. Everyone's picking the Chiefs.
Public money's like 80% on you guys, which the public has been very wrong this year when they've gone heavy on one team or the other.
I did not think.
Was that a beer in the AM? No, it is a monster because I get up at 3:30 in the morning, but I will tell you, I am very much a fan of a morning mimosa. Big mimosa guy. I am basic the way Rashad's a hater. Very much.
Yep, basic. That's you.
100% basic. 100% basic. KC by 10. I went KC money line. I was last Sunday when the line dropped and it opened at San Francisco -2.5. It bounced all the way down to 1.5. I grabbed it at money line +140. I think I got it. Now it's Kansas City's money line is like +115. I think it's not a huge difference, but enough that I'm glad I got it when I did.
AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets: appliances, HVAC.
Wow, Steven, right there with Rashad.
AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform developed by AmericanEagle.com has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue.
I want to say I can't be that kind of a hater, but I probably can. So I just should not say.
AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter.
Double O Kane, welcome in, man. Good to have you tapped in, bud. Listen, we got a short segment coming up here. I'm coming right back to Rashad being a hater.
Oh, I'm going to be thinking about this
right back to
the whole Super Bowl.
Oh, man. I am shocked by that, dude.
I'm not.
Shocked by that.
I think Rashad did something that a lot of people won't do and say it out loud.
Publicly?
Say it out loud because a lot of people are like, they're thinking that, but they won't say it because they don't want people to think about them a certain way. And he doesn't care. Good on him.
Rob Star Report. What's up, man? Welcome in. Welcome into the stream. I feel like I'm like slowly turning more basic YouTube guy, you know? Welcome to the stream. Smash that like button. Make sure you subscribe. I hate it. I hate that about me. I am still stunned by that.
I'm so proud of myself for asking that question.
I am too. I am too, predominantly because you are the content cash cow and content has been created.
Just the way Rashad's eyes lit up when I asked the question, like, ooh. And we were talking about this on the stream, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, or the X, check it out. But we were talking about there is that Rashad's willing to say things out loud that some people won't. They internalize. They're like, yeah, well, I really don't want him to.
I don't get it.
I absolutely get it.
So this man, and I'm talking obviously about CMC right now. This man and Steve Wilkes, great point. Steve Wilkes coaching in San Francisco. This man in Run CMC gave what he gave to your squad. Was asked as a finesse runner to run between the guards for like 2 seasons, something that I genuinely believe shortened his career during his time in Charlotte. This man laid everything down for your squad, and then your squad sent him away. I would get it. if Christian McCaffrey demanded a trade. He said, hey, yo, this franchise is, the owner is, the team is. But he didn't do any of that. He kept grinding. In fact, when he got sent to San Francisco, he was like, yeah, I would have stayed. I'd have been a Panther my career. I'm disappointed, but hey, I'm in San Francisco. I'm going to do what I do here. This dude gave everything he had for the franchise. Right. I'm not done. Then he got the boot from you, and you're going to go full hater mode.
I just want to
on him. The audacity.
This is the perfect opportunity to use a Rob Brown analogy. So if someone from this station jump ship across town to another station,
y'all got to stop saying that. Which, if somebody from this station got fired despite doing great work, then yes, I'd be in their corner. Yes,
I would not. I would not. I would want them to fail if they go. Because as soon as they leave this building, you know what they are? Supposedly competition. So if you jump ship, or if you are kicked off the ship and you go somewhere else, we're dangerously using that word just because we're risky today. I am rooting against you. Because now
certified
you're no longer with us, whether you want it to be or not. You're no longer with us. You're the competition. I am not rooting for you.
As long as you acknowledge that you are a hater, a certified. Listen, I think, for the record,
there is no denying of hate.
I think the word hater is overused by the Utes today. All right. I think the word hate, like, you can't criticize anything anymore without getting called a hater. I think that word has been used so much, it is kind of lost some of its meaning. But I am comfortable in saying a proper utilization of the word hater is if you're a Panthers fan actively rooting against, I'm not saying have a preference for Patrick Mahomes or like don't have a dog in the fight or whatever. If you are actively rooting against Mahomes and Darnold and Wilkes, you are a certified, bona fide, grade A premium hater.
America.
100%. 100%.
When Rashad went Taylor Swift, you knew it was on. Yeah, so I completely agree with them, and I don't get that you don't understand it.
I 1,000% don't get it, can't get it, won't get it. Again, I would totally understand if CMC rolled up after his last season, flipped the double bird to the state, and walked backwards out while doing it, handed out F-bombs to everybody that wore silver and blue. Then I get it. I'd be like, all right, screw that guy. All right? Absolutely forget that guy. There have been plenty of New Orleans Saints who did that to my squad, who said, I'm done here. I hate it here.
So this is just about McCaffrey because you're not mentioning Darnold and
I don't think
Wilkes.
Darnold did it either. They got let go. Steve Wilkes could have been the head coach. They let him go. Sam Darnold could have stayed on. They let him go. If you got let go by Carolina, I don't know how you elbow drop that guy, especially Christian McCaffrey. I can't tell you the fact. To me, that dude left probably 2 to 3 years off the end of his career on the field in Charlotte by playing the way y'all asked him to play and never complained about it. Had every right to complain about it. Could have been an SI every week going, I don't understand why they keep making me run off center, but that's what I'm paid to do. And never did. He shut up and he carried the rock into the teeth of NFC South defenses. And the minute my chances got a chance for success somewhere else, y'all start dropping bombs on him. Certified haters, bro.
All right, we need to go to break, but if you feel so strongly, go change your bet. Go change your bet.
I might double up. I might throw a double bet at San Francisco here.
There you go. You should do that.
I am now actively rooting against my own financial
You know who does
now.
that? You know who does what Rob's doing right now? A contrarian.
No.
Yes.
No.
Suddenly people are going a certain way, so you got to go the opposite way. That's a contrarian.
No, dog, absolutely not. And I'm not going to let you hit me with that because I've been saying for weeks now, I am Team CMC. Have been, will stay. I think Pat and the boys are better, But if CMC wins, I will have you know I will be wearing a CMC San Francisco jersey Monday.
I just went full
I'm
on
gonna go find
wrestling intro break. Let's go to break.
Do your sports flash, whatever.
I'm going to do it like a hater would. Baseball will not be played in the Paris Olympics this year, but is slated to return when the games are hosted by LA in 2028, and they may feature MLB players. Once again, it was reported yesterday that owners have begun discussions about canceling the All-Star game, usually held around the same time as the Olympic Games, to allow players to represent their countries. I don't know if you heard this, but former Carolina head coach Matt Rule said yesterday that now San Francisco quarterback Brock Purdy was on his draft board back in 2022 and would have been a Panther, but claimed that other staff members vetoed that decision. Speaking of football and Super Bowl, we are your exclusive home for the Super Bowl in the upstate. Coverage starts at 2 p.m. Sunday as the Kansas City Chiefs take on the San Francisco 49ers. The Super Bowl plays here, right here on the Fan Upstate. That's a good point, Stephen, and could happen. Not going to happen, but it could. All right, this is for you moles. I think Rob is legitimately disturbed about Rashad's answer. Very unexpected. That's why we love live radio. You can tell him I said that, moles.
Heartbreaker's gonna break.
Oh, that's the next line of the song? Because I don't think I've heard that song all the way through. Maybe I have.
Shake it off.
That's so like 2010 or something, right? I don't know.
Sounds like 3 years old. I don't know. I don't know how time works anymore.
I was closer than you.
About what?
It was released in 2014.
Oh, okay.
I said 2010, and you said 3 years ago.
Old, bro. That stinks.
I know it's hard to believe, but 2010 was not 3 years ago.
Wilkes did nothing wrong either, but he's getting the same energy as CMC, Darnold, and X-Pan. Oh, you guys, man.
Yeah, but he got beat down, Zach, afterwards. And he did the dumb thing again. I'm so glad he's retiring. He dove off to stop doing that, man. You're too old to do that.
Let Sting live for the
That's
next few
the whole
weeks.
point. I don't care what Darby says. He can nope all he wants.
Nope.
I want to see my favorite wrestler of all time survive. And who knows what he's going to do in his last match? Well, this is it. Agreed, Zach. And I'm glad he got another chance by coming. You know, what happened in WWE was horrible because Seth Rollins is a danger to everyone around him. But
Triple H and Vince buried him.
No, because Seth Rollins and his buckle bomb is a danger to everyone around him and should no longer be wrestling. But I am glad that he got another chance to come out and shine. It's been amazing, but he needs to go home.
Also really hates Seth's theme song.
Oh no, I can't stand Seth. He was the weakest of the three, and
I actually would agree with you.
yeah, I just don't think he's that good in the ring or on the mic. And your song being over doesn't make you over.
Oh, Seth's over.
Yeah, his career is because he's getting ready to go away after WrestleMania for a while.
I did think you were going to lose it when who was it that dropped you walking around here in your wife's clothes?
Roman said that. Oh, I did lose it. I watched that live.
Yeah, Roman said
I was like, yes. It's a shame you didn't come up with that on your own. Probably a writer wrote it, but still.
only dumb if it doesn't work.
Well, that's true. I agree, Zach. When his sons came in, it was like, okay, are we going to see Guns 2.0 about to happen?
Texter said, I don't even think that's called being a hater. I think that's called just being a bad person.
Hey, you leave Rashad alone. He's a great guy.
Oh, Rashad catching smoke. Texter said, I'm with Rob. Let CMC cook. Maybe them winning a ring will be what it takes for us to get our asses in gear. Maybe. Oh, you mean we could have had that guy?
No, it's probably not going to happen,
Texas said he's got a point. When Richard Sherman went to the 49ers after the Seahawks, I couldn't stand him. Texter said, you leave the team with a back-to-back winning season to actually win a Super Bowl. Yeah, man. Texter said CMC, best running back they'll ever have. CMC is going to leave this game as an all-time great.
Completely
legend.
Agree, for sure.
Hall of Famer, first ballot, not even a question. Like, he could end it. If they win the Super Bowl, he could end his career Monday and would be a first ballot Hall of Famer to me.
I do remember when they drafted Christian and it was a training camp going, I need to look at this guy. He's way too small. And he'd come out, and if I remember, he came out sleeveless and was rocking the guns. I'm like, whoa, that dude is built. I did not expect that sort of thing. Injuries aside, he's had a really good career.
Dude's a G, certified.
But I'm
100%.
not going to go against Rashad here. I think Rashad's got it right.
Man,
I'm no arbiter, and I don't think anyone really is an arbiter, even if they say they are, of fandom. But if you're going to be a true fan of a team, I think this is how you treat it.
I'm stunned by the hatitude. Stunned by it. Like that.
I don't think that's going to stick. I mean, that's a nice try.
I am stunned by the hatitude. I am very frequently. Nope, scratch that. I am very infrequently rendered speechless. And I'm going to say this, and he's not here to hear it, but I'll say it anyway. Rashad Beard is my favorite person to talk Panther football with off this show. Okay? Whether it's on the interview.
So not on the show?
Well, I mean on the show. I mean, okay. Like, obviously opposed from you and I talking Panther football.
I knew what you meant, but I was just giving
Rashad
clarification.
Is my favorite dude to talk Panther ball with. I have been to every Saints at Panthers game since I moved here. Rashad and I always make it a point to meet up in the pregame and meet up at the halftime to knock back a couple of shots of brown liquor. All right? Rashad's my guy. I love him. I'd call him a bro away from the broadcasting and podcasting angle. 100%. That was the first time that Rashad said something that I was like, what the hell are you talking about, man? What are you talking about? And Rashad and I have had some disagreements for sure. That's football. That's why we do podcasting and broadcasting. But that's the first time that I was genuinely taken aback. I have talked about it too long, and I'm aware of that, but I can't help myself.
So I put this up there when Gunther was here and he said what he said, when Paul White said what he said, one of those moments where we both just kind of went, not quite the UFC thing when there's a knockout, not one of those, but we both just kind of stepped back a little bit and smiled like, yeah, I put that up there as one of my favorite moments of this program.
I hate it. I hate what he said. I hate how he said it. I hate why he said it. I hate when he said it. I hate everything about it. Oh, Team CMC, dude.
Except for Rashad. He hates everything about it except for Rashad.
I love Rashad.
Okay,
I love Rashad like a brother, man, like a bro.
Brother.
Straight up bro. But that was a terrible take. Terrible take. All right.
You got all the love over here, Rashad. Stay strong, man.
All right. Super Bowl props. You know, I love. Do you guys? I mean, I don't care. I'm going to do it anyway.
Yeah, everyone.
But I love the exotic props. They're my favorite bets.
I think this is one of my favorite segments every year before the Super Bowl, because it is so stupid what people will actually bet on.
As somebody who bets on those stupid things all the time, big fan. Here you go. Here is a few more that we have not gotten to yet. Number one, you know there is going to be a performance of America the Beautiful, as there is every year. Here's a bet you can make right now. Which superstar, which football player will be shown first during the performance of America the Beautiful? Will it be Travis Kelce at -250 or Christian McCaffrey at +185? I think this
is a hard one.
It is a tough one.
I'm gonna go with CMC on this.
See, I want to,
because they're going to be thinking, okay, we're going to be showing a lot of Travis, we're going to be showing a lot of Taylor Swift. Let's go ahead and let's start with some Christian.
So I would think so, but I would also say, and this is why a lot of these Taylor bets and Travis Kelce bets that aren't football related are so interesting to me as somebody who will gamble on anything. What is interesting to me about them is I'm trying to look at them through the lens of a television producer who is trying to placate an audience that this year, maybe more than ever before, is comprised largely, maybe not majoritively, but largely by people who aren't really interested in football. You're going to have a lot of people watching this game, and you do every year, right? You have a large
That's what I was going to
contingent of
say.
viewers.
Yeah, every year. I mean, including live in-person people who are not into football that much.
I don't care about that.
But they're there because
I'm
of
talking about your
status
TV
symbol.
audience. Your TV audience. You have a large contingent every year who are watching it because they're at a Super Bowl party and they're just there for the party. People who watch it just for the commercials, et cetera, et cetera. But you have to. This is not an option. You have to placate the Swifties, because here's the thing, regardless of why, the ad revenue during the Super Bowl is 100% determined on commercial viewership, right? It's on the number of TV sets, the number of eyeballs during the commercials, because that's how the money gets made. So if you are trying to placate an audience that is made up a large bit of by, maybe not majoritively comprised of, but made up in large part by the people who are tuning in for the Travis and Taylor love story, Travis Kelce being shown is an attention grabber now, right? On the flip side, if you're a producer, as Lonzo pointed out, do you go, we know TK is going to get a lot of love. But see, here's the thing. So's Christian McCaffrey. He is a linchpin of the San Francisco offense.
But let's say you want to quell some of the rumble that's going on online. So you balance it out by throwing some other guys in there early on. So it's not like, well, all they do is show Travis Kelce. Why are they only showing him? Well, you throw in some Christian McCaffrey.
But here's the thing. All the people who have that attitude aren't going anywhere.
I'm curious,
They're not.
Why did they just pick those two particular players? The first player being shown may not be either one of them.
That's the gamble. They show 100 players. The only gamble is which one of those two are they going to show first, just to play with the odds a little bit. Now, I'm sure you could probably find a book somewhere that will let you gamble on. You can pick any player off the list, and the odds are all going to be dramatically longer.
Well, after last year, I would think they'll show a coach first.
Maybe.
Remember the tiers last year?
Maybe. But I would.
That was last year, wasn't it? Last year, or was it? It was. I think it was last.
I think it was last year. But I would go with, on this one, the football guys aren't going anywhere. They'll tell you they are. Colin Kaepernick took a knee. I'm never going anywhere. Audience numbers went up. If they don't stop showing Taylor Swift, audience numbers are through the roof for these playoffs. And they're partially through the roof through these playoffs because of the Swiftie army, the cult. making its way in. And that to me says I'm betting on TK, even though he's a big minus money favorite. We have addressed this one in the past. Zoe, will a single team record, and if it was going to happen, this might be a good year for it too. Will the Super Bowl record, 52 points, be topped in this Super Bowl? Yes, plus 850. No, minus 2,500. No chance somebody blows the doors off in this one.
I don't believe so, no.
Yeah, I don't either.
Unless, like what happened a couple of years ago, both of Kansas City's tackles suddenly get hurt. As bad as they are, we still need them.
Will the longest field goal record of 54 yards be broken? Not tied. Will somebody hit a field goal of 55 or longer in this game?
Well, Butker definitely has the leg for it.
Sure does.
And
Jake Moody for San Francisco.
I don't know what kind of crosswinds we got. Is this?
Don't know. That's the bet, buddy.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go yes. I think Butker could do it.
Butker could go 55. Jake Moody does have a 59-yarder under his belt, but it was in college. Plus 260. I'd like that number probably closer to 5-1 before I was real comfortable throwing anything at it. But I really don't hate it. I don't hate it. And I don't hate it because of the two defenses playing, right? Like, points might be at a premium. I'm betting the under in this game. Points might be at a premium. And if points are at a premium, all of a sudden somebody makes their first, their first visit where they get stalled out on a 3rd and 3, and you're looking at a 57-yarder, and the score is 9-6 in the third quarter. All of a sudden, that 3 points looks like it could be the game changer.
See, I'm thinking more so the end of the half. And they're not going to get the ball back, and you're just like, yeah, let's go. Let's give this thing a shot anyway.
Maybe so.
I mean, so over 54 is not. It's not like you're saying 60. I mean, a 55 is.
It's got to be 56 or longer.
56
right?
is how uncommon is that really? Is the game indoors? I don't know. I've never been to Vegas, and it's a new stadium.
It is indoors. Allegiant Stadium.
All right,
is
so
indoors.
so there's no wind,
and it's off turf, which most kickers will tell you gives them a little extra pop.
Thank you, Brandon. So I'm definitely saying yes now.
Yeah, I really don't hate it. I really don't hate it.
By the way, I'm not a knower of ball, and I don't even have an associate's. So the fact that I didn't know that should not look poorly on me.
Plus 4,000 for an offensive lineman to score a touchdown.
Now, if Detroit was there, that would be
That's
totally different thing.
But it's also a number that's probably like plus 1,000. 40-1 for an offensive lineman to score a touchdown here.
Andy gets pretty tricky.
Uh-huh.
But so does Shanahan.
Shanahan.
Yeah.
Both of these teams could theoretically do this. You go with it, and especially if we go late, somebody has to get a 2-point conversion. Somebody pops a field goal. Now you got to drag it to within a tie with a 2-point conversion late on a touchdown. Somebody sticks an offensive tackle in there in the jumbo set, reports eligible. 40-1 to take one.
See, Kansas City's got at least one injury on the offensive line, so I don't think that they'll do it, but I really think San Francisco would. I'd have to go yes on that.
Both teams to score on their opening drive. Yes is plus 425. No is minus 650. I'm going to go yes on this. I think there's absolutely a possibility here, especially when field goals count. I absolutely think you go yes here. I think you talk about there's going to be nerves for sure, but both of these teams have at least some level of experience here. Obviously, I don't think Patrick Mahomes has nerves coming into the Super Bowl. He's done it enough times, right? He's been here 3 times. This is not a new game. He's playing in Super Bowls at a rate most players don't play in playoff games. So I think he does. And then with McCaffrey and Kittle, I think San Francisco's got to just get into that, with Jake Moody able to hit a 60-yarder. I think they just got to get inside the 40 and they score. I think plus 425 is a solid bet for both teams to score on their opening drive. I don't hate that one at all. All right, we got to run to a break because it's Thursday. And you know what that means? When we come back, Fight Club with the great one. There has been a lot going on in the world of pro wrestling, MMA, boxing. We're getting to all of it. When we come back here in a minute, before we do, Lonzo, minus 110 on the most popular prop bet of all, heads or tails. Coin flip. Where are we going?
Tails. Always go tails.
Tails never fails. Except for heads has hit 2 out of the last 3. Last year it was tails. 2 years in a row before that it was heads. 2 before that tails. 1 before that heads. Before that 4 tails in a row. Heads or tails. Minus 110 for the pick.
So Taylor begins with T, and so does tails. So I'm going with tails.
Tails are swift. Back after this on the Rob Brown Show with the Fan Upstate.
So you saw it too, Keegan. We're going to be talking about that.
That is wild. I don't know if you saw it earlier. Cody Decker went to see U2 at the Sphere last night. He put up some videos of it. It looks pretty dope. Here, I'll pull it back up. Why not? Where is it?
Mark Ryan's morning sports spin powered by Ingles. Low prices, love the savings.
So, guys, I have a tradition for the Super Bowl every single year. The week of the Super Bowl, I rank the 10 best players in the Super Bowl, which tells me with 80% accuracy, 8 of the last 10 years, the team that had the majority of the 10 best players ended up winning. Shocker, right? The better team wins. So here we go. Number 10.
All right, here's Deck's Instagram. Let me get to it. So he went last night to U2 at the Sphere. This is the inside of the Sphere. When he first put it up, I'm like, what a random wall. Okay. That's just what it looks like. Oh, look, there's Deck and his mom. That's adorable. That's the Sphere. How wild is that, man?
Did he just root for San Francisco?
I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah,
I
probably.
was looking at U2 at the Sphere.
There's no sound in that, is there?
No.
Because if there is, you're
And I turned it off
broadcasting.
anyway.
Well, it's
Anyway, I thought that was bananas. This is the second time in my life U2 has shown up in my iPhone. What a debacle. I remember that. When they just uploaded a YouTube album to everybody's phone.
still on mine. I don't know how to get rid of it. And on occasion, if I don't push Spotify, but I push something else, it just suddenly starts playing that.
Dana White said U2 is using less than like 20% of what the Sphere can do.
Yeah, that's what he said in that interview.
It's wild, man.
Yeah, I'm with Zach. I'm not a U2 hater, so it's not. I mean, I'm not Uber fan, but I wasn't that offended by it.
I like U2. I don't have an issue with U2.
I know that's cool, Keegan. The fact that they have rumble seats.
That's wild.
Yeah, they had
Watched a jungle movie.
Yeah, they had a whole on McAfee. They had a full panel of people, and Dana White was in there, and JJ Watt, and they were talking about the Sphere, and yeah, which McAfee hadn't been yet. That's what I was saying. He paid like $30,000 for a suite last night, so I'm sure he'll be talking about it today.
I wish I could complain about spending $30K on a suite to see a show.
I just wish I was hooked up with.
I wish I had $30K to spend.
I was gonna say I wish I was hooked up with a host who took care of everybody around him the way McAfee does.
Yeah, sorry, buddy.
Yeah, that's just, I mean, I've never been hooked up with that kind of host. So it's not just a you thing. Did you say 60,000? Okay. I knew it was up there.
$60K.
Yeah, I saw that, Zach. That's been popping up a bunch. And wow, they got us. And I hope.
Did they?
I hope.
Did they?
I hope so. I want to believe.
You want to give them credit?
Yeah, I do. I absolutely don't you? Because if not, we got to deal with Rock versus. I mean, no. I want to believe I got, and I'm happy about getting got. Because I won't be the only one. Welcome to the Fight Club, where if you get got by us, it's going to leave a scar. And you're going to be thankful for it, because that's what we do here. So many things to talk about, including tonight's press conference, which I told my wife to remind me, and she sent me a Google Calendar thing to make sure that it was on there, because that's how supposedly important this thing is. But before we get that, let's talk about bad stuff. Let's talk about really bad stuff. Let's talk about stuff to get people put in jail. That is the big news that supposedly all this is covering up, which it is not. I was scanning the YouTubes yesterday, which I like to do sometimes when I'm eating, if I don't want to get into, long form, like a movie or something. And I saw Dan Le Batard talking about the Vince McMahon situation. And so I'm interested in other people's takes on the thing. And it wasn't him. It was Mike Ryan, the most famous of the Ryan guys, I think, who said, could this be the end of professional wrestling? And all I can think of is, okay, dude, this is a stretch. And they had a long conversation. And yes, Vince McMahon is really a bad person. I don't even think allegedly. He's just a bad person. And all the things that are going to come to light in this situation will make it's going to be bad. Not that it isn't already. And other people who are probably going to be brought out into the limelight. But I don't think this is the end of professional wrestling. Do you, Rob? Do you think as bad and as sordid as this is not the wrestling product itself? It's the behind the scenes thing.
No, this is the end of Vince McMahon. This is the end of the McMahon legacy. The only question I have here is, if you are WWE, how do you approach telling the story of your company when he is the primary character? Not one of, he's the primary character. So do you just have to leave the story of WWE as it is and then have the caveat at the end of, oh, by the way, this guy sucked. He was evil. He was a monster the entire time.
What have they been saying the entire time? This is a new beginning. This is a new beginning.
Yeah,
this is a new beginning. But if you've been labeling it as a new beginning, then you make this a new beginning. And you can take people off of intros. You can leave the archives up, but it's got to be hard for you to find it. You can do all that kind of stuff. And I think they can move on from this.
Yeah, listen, they can, because this is a business that weekly, bi-week, if you include AEW in this.
And you can throw in TNA Impact.
TNA, Impact, you throw it all together.
There's wrestling every single day.
This is an industry that has television shows, even if we only talk about the big networks. This is an industry that has a successful television show on mainstream television 4 nights a week, routinely sells out 27,000-seat arenas. When they do Mania, they're going to have 180,000 butts in seats over 2 nights, and just signed a contract with Netflix to the tune of $5 billion with a B dollars. It's not going anywhere.
By the way,
because it is one of those situations where we as fans love the art, if not the artist, right? Like nobody has stopped talking about plenty of musicians and actors and poets and painters that were terrible people because sometimes you just separate art from artist. This is obviously way more than this guy was just kind of a butthole sometimes. Like this was an evil person who did evil things. We're not going to walk away from wrestling as a whole, but I will say this. If WWE, whether it's TKO or whoever, does not actively come out and actively speak out against what was done, that's when you get into a problem. This isn't something that you just kind of go brush it under the rug and let people forget and move on. You need to actively speak out and act out against what happened.
I think there are some things they can't do right now because of an active investigation. When the thing goes to trial or whatever, and everything is out that's going to be out, I think maybe then you comment. But right now,
well, and this is the interesting part. I spoke to somebody the other day who was a lawyer because I was very, very curious about it. And what I got told was this is now entering or is going to soon enter the discovery phase. It's a civil suit, not criminal. It could lead to criminal charges.
Yeah, but when there's trafficking involved, and if it went across state lines, which it would have had to do probably, that makes it federal and makes it a lot.
Again, it is a civil matter now that could lead to criminal charges. But unless the young lady in charge decides to go for a settlement, and her attorney has said she doesn't want a settlement, she wants justice, right? Now, that's what you say no matter what, because you want it to, you want the people that would want to settle, in this case, the McMahon estate, you would want them to fear that you are truly not after a settlement, to offer a much higher number than you might be willing to take. But if this young lady truly does not want a settlement and wants all of this to come to light, and they go to discovery, every single thing that was in any way connected to Vince's activities for all those years is absolutely subject to discovery, which means every text message he sent during that length of time, every phone call he made, every banking statement he touched, every interaction he had with Brock Lesnar and Seth Rollins and all these other people that were involved indirectly or directly, that can all be brought to light. Remember when the Benoit thing happened, a horrible tragedy. And we kind of started getting the sprinkling of what was going on behind the scenes as far as steroids and PEDs and all that. And it led to some pretty widespread changes, but a lot of it stayed buttoned up. That can't be the case here.
The thing is, and some people pointing this out too, Johnny Ace has already turned state's witness. So he's going to spill the beans on everything to try to save his butt.
Oh, for sure.
Which don't know the guy, but from his character and everything, I'm really not surprised by all that. So the thing, and I also saw a thing where the NDAs that were signed were not legal, and more than likely the people can go after him for more money. But since he did it in a personal way, not a company way, they can go after him personally, and it won't hurt the company as far as that goes. There's just so much involved in this thing. And
it sucks, dude.
So,
it just sucks.
So, which takes you to the next thing, which is this whole Cody and Rock thing. Is this really a diversion? Because I don't know. I still believe, and I think, and I've read that a lot of people still believe that this was a Dwayne Johnson hostile takeover, and this is what he wanted. But then The Rock dropped some things today that could be diversionary. It could be. And so now people are wondering, are they going to sign a contract for 41 and not 40?
So, regardless, the lead up to whatever happens tonight was stupid. It was stupid. It was stupid to have that moment where Cody left the ring. Regardless of what happens, it made his character look like a punk ass you know what. All right. It just did. It just, no matter how you slice it, and you can have him come out and go, and I was just playing psychological games. But it's like, dude, you've been here 2.5 years. You hadn't done that before. It has always been straight up, here is what I'm doing, and here's how I'm going to do it. And then you go fight and win. It just did not make any sense. And I am at this point, and they're going to do their best to spin it the other. But at this point, I am convinced that they made that call. Rock wanted the rebrand. He was going to come to the one safe space that he has to get it. TKO just assumed Dwayne is the biggest movie star in the world, which he's not anymore, but he was. And this is great for visibility for us. And they did not expect that they were going to get their rear ends handed to them by how much everybody hated it. As far as I'm concerned, whatever happens tonight moving forward is 100% an organic and genuine Yes Movement Volume 2.
All right, I don't believe in that at all, but that's fine. Let's fantasy book the conference tonight. First of all, this is the first WWE press conference where it's appointment viewing for me. So if anything, they've got that. I'm tuning in to Peacock at 7:00 to find out what's going on. So one of two things I want to see happen. One, I mentioned earlier in the week, I want to see this start to happen and Drew McIntyre come out and wreck everybody, because then you still have no idea who's wrestling who, and Drew solidifies himself finally as the heel he was meant to be. Not that tweener stuff with the t-shirt and everything building towards that he ruins it, or that they do the thing and Roman signs the contract and realizes for 41, and Cody just walks out and does that smile, that one smile, that evil smile that he can do, and then just walks out. I'd be okay either way with those things.
I'm going to be real with you. You know, I love me some fantasy booking. Love to sit here. I am a creative.
So
mind.
you're not going to play along here?
No, I'm not.
Because I have it written here, fantasy booking, and it's my segment, and I want you to fantasy book,
fantasy
Rob.
book. It's your segment.
I already did.
Here's where I'm going.
You just don't want to play along. Rashad's got you so messed up. You don't want to participate with anybody.
He tanked this entire hour of the show.
No, he didn't. He was amazing.
Y'all know I love me some fantasy booking. I am a creative mind. I love creative writing. It is always something I have done in my spare time, of which there is so little. I DM D&D because of that. It is one of my favorite things to do. This is so convoluted, and there is so much of an impact from the real life business side that does not fit well in, that I'm not going to sit here and get myself worked up about it, because the people that are in control now, to me, are not making decisions based on what's the best way to tell a story that people are going to be compelled by and they're going to enjoy, and they're going to want to give us money for doing, so much as what's going to make us the most money. And it's not, well, maybe the story will, or maybe great wrestling will, or maybe a great television look will. It is just simply what makes us the most money, which is why Dwayne showed up in the first place. You did not need Dwayne for this WrestleMania. This WrestleMania was going to be stacked anyway. It was already sold out. You did not need Dwayne. This decision was made because of the belief that Dwayne would bring in more money than Cody and Roman. And I don't think that was the case. So I'm not going to get fantasy book
tickets were already sold.
I just said that.
Yeah.
This WrestleMania was already sold out.
Yeah. So
why is
this is not, it's not about money. Well, it's a power.
It's only about money with TKO.
No,
it is only about shareholder profit.
Right.
And nothing
in
else.
this case, the money was already spent. This is about Dwayne doing a power play. I'm in charge now. And here, I'm going to put myself where I want to put myself. I'm going to put my daughter in charge. I'm going to do all these things. So maybe we're trading one family for another. And that's what it kind of looks that way. Let's move on from all this hate into another thing that will cause Rob and I to argue. Why is Rhea Ripley so popular? Because I don't get it. I don't get it. And this is because she's pretty. Is that why she's so popular? She's not that great of a wrestler. She's gotten better on the mic thanks to Judgment Day. There's a reason why she couldn't carry the company the first time and had to give it back to Charlotte, because she wasn't ready. She's still not ready now. The best chance that we have of actual competition against her, because size-wise and reality, is Nia Jax, and people absolutely hate Nia Jax. And so they're embracing that, making her be what everyone believes about Nia Jax. And I think Nia Jax is more deserving of the belt than Rhea Ripley.
Of your wrestling,
maybe you're like a bossy woman, and maybe that's maybe you're like a bossy woman. You want some woman to take charge, and there's nothing wrong with that, by the way. My wife's the boss in my house. She thinks it's funny when we say it. We all know it's true. But maybe you're like a bossy woman telling you what to do and all that kind of thing, because that's all we're seeing. How much does she actually wrestle? She does not wrestle that much, and when she does, she wrestles these 5'2", 110-pound little girls that makes it look like she's so dominant. Now she's going up against someone her size or bigger, and what does she do? She looks like the little girl now, which is how it should be. Go Nia.
First off, Nia Jax is bad at yes, because your take's bad.
No, it's not.
Nia Jax is bad at everything.
You're just being a contrarian.
Nia Jax is bad. Yes, definitely not the thousands of people cheering Rhea Ripley every night.
By the way, we've established on this show, I am the person of the people, not you. So, I mean, you're getting frustrated at me. I speak for the people.
Because I'm making a point here.
You speak for 1%.
No, I don't.
I speak for 99.
You just asked, why is everybody on board? Then you become the only person I know. And that's not an exaggeration. You are the only wrestling fan in my entire life that is Team Nia Jax. You're the only one. The only one. And that's not me going, you're a contrarian. I mean, you are literally, in the old school actual definition of literally, the only person I know that is Team Nia Jax. The only one.
I'm okay with a woman being overweight and not looking like everybody else and her being victorious.
Stop crafting
I'm okay with that.
Your own narrative.
Wow.
Stop
Where did I hear
paint
that from?
Other people in a bad light. This has nothing to do with Nia Jax's weight. It has nothing to do with her look. Stop. That was her gimmick, and it was a bad gimmick. Nobody dislikes Nia Jax because of her looks or her weight. They dislike Nia Jax because the promos are standard and boring, because the wrestling is slow and bad, and because she has constantly injured people her entire career. That's why.
Like Seth Rollins.
So, as far as
but he gets
Rhea
praised
Ripley
and she gets
the reason everybody is on board with Rhea is multiple reasons. Number one is because of what you just said. You think people hate on her because she doesn't look like other girls? For the love of God, it's Rhea Ripley. She's the most unique looking women's champion we've had in years.
Nia Jax is beautiful.
I agree.
When Rhea takes up all of the makeup, she's pretty also.
Rhea in the goth look, mommy. Yes, please.
So annoying.
Okay. So annoying. The argument that you don't look Rhea or you don't look Nia because she looks that
I don't know
BS.
why you got to change your voice
Rhea
to make it
fan.
supposedly sound like
because
me.
the tape's
I don't sound
bad.
like that.
So when it comes to Rhea Ripley, she is absolutely.
If I could do your
jacked.
voice, I would do your voice, but I just don't have that kind of voice to do it. So there, whatever.
Rhea Ripley, because she's jacked. Because she can go. You may not like her style of wrestling, but because she can go, everything that they tried to make Raquel, that's what Rhea actually is.
Whatever happened to her, by the way? She disappeared, didn't even show up in the Rumble.
Because she tried to be like a cleaned up version of what Rhea is, and she can't do Rhea like Rhea Ripley can. And on top of that, yes, the whole Judgment Day thing has been a great storyline for Rhea to stand on top of and build. And on top of that, and this one is the truest of the true things, she's a damn smoke show. That's all the reason.
So in the end, exactly what I said at first, she's pretty. That's what you end with.
That is one of the reasons.
Okay, but all right.
100%.
Usually points of emphasis, the last thing you say is the most important thing.
No, this is radio.
In a
you
sentence.
literally lead with the most important thing in this business.
No. As someone who's a award-winning producer, the best points are always at the end of a segment.
Do me a favor. Go tell Mark Hendricks you want to put all our best points at the end of a segment. See what he says. Exactly.
What you're saying is like going away from the show and actually getting a little too real. And I don't tell the boss anything. The boss tells me. That's why I've been here 24 years, because I am a good employee.
So here's the thing.
I'm also work for the company, and you're a merc.
Rhea Ripley is a boss. She can go.
Boss is a key word there.
I know. I did that on purpose.
Yes.
She can go. She is big. She is strong. She wrestles well. Her promos have gone through the moon in intensity and quality. And also, on top of all of those more important things, she's a smoke show.
Exactly, James. That's what he was trying to do.
Brother.
That's exactly what he's trying to do. All right, let's go to something. I was going to get to AEW stuff, but we just don't have time. Great announcement there, Tony. Good job.
I think you're passing over the actual announcement. Did you notice there was an extra S?
Yes, yeah, but
Boston?
that's not actually earth shattering. Going to change the business forever. You know what would change the business forever? If Vince McMahon walked out, it says, "I just bought AEW."
Vince McMoney comes out.
Yeah,
along with his new CFO, on top money.
So the Sphere,
Sphere
is this thing with a bunch of LED lights in Vegas, and it's really big and it's really cool, and I'll never get to see it, but I can live vicariously through other people. Dana White was on the McAfee show yesterday and said he is going to put on the biggest sporting event ever as far as the boxing, mixed martial arts, whatever.
There it is.
Inside the Sphere. And he says what he's going to do has never been done and never will be done again after.
Look.
That's when they start talking about rumble seats. Can you imagine if they use the rumble seats while you're watching a fight? And would you want to feel it a little bit?
So if you have not been watching the stream, which you can do at facebook.com/thefanupstate, twitter.com/thefanupstate by searching the Fan Upstate on YouTube or the Rob Brown Show on Twitch. If you have not watched, my Saturday co-host, who I host a national show called Bet for the Cycle with every Saturday from noon to 4 on the BetQL network and fine Odyssey stations everywhere.
One that he gets along with a whole lot better. So, because, yeah.
Cody Decker was at the Sphere for a U2 show last night, and he put up on his Instagram story some video from the U2 set inside of the Sphere, and it is genuinely even cooler than I already thought it looked kind of cool. Like for the monstrosity that it is, I thought it was kind of rad. Inside of it, it's even more dope, to be honest. Like it looked very cool. Here's my only thing. And this is what I've said about MMA for years. There comes a point, and boxing suffered for a very long time because of this, where you start putting the emphasis on the show over the competition. The Sphere is dope. I think it could have some really cool.
Don't you downplay this, man. This is going to be cool. Come on.
I'm not downplaying, but here's the thing. Are you MMA or are you professional wrestling? Because at some point, you're going to get to the point where the show becomes more important than the competition. And I will always be, for MMA, for boxing, a competition guy first. Give me 2 Tyson Furies with no walkout music before you give me 2 old Conor McGregors inside of the Sphere. Don't make it about the show. Make it a great event with a good show.
I just want to point out that, as we go to break, that I tried to find some common ground here. I thought I ended on a common ground thing. He just wants to fight, and it's all Rashad's fault.
Wait here. You want to talk about The Rock some more?
No, thank
more about The Rock.
No, thank you. Hopefully, we'll have nothing but glowing things to say tomorrow.
Texter just said that I remind him of Manny the Raging Bull Fernandez. That's one of the greatest compliments I've ever gotten.
Is it a compliment?
Yes.
Is it? Okay.
Yes. One of the greatest compliments I've ever gotten.
So you're likes to fight guy.
Former Florida heavyweight champion.
Oh, there it is. Florida.
LFG. Back after this to wrap it all up on the Rob Brown Show in the Fan Upstate.
He did say that, Keegan.
They can talk to the younger guys who are coming now and kind of tell them how they
they felt at that time, and then how you feel after. And people for the rest of their lives remember that game if you won that game, and that's really all that matters. So that's what you remember.
I feel like I've been fighting for like the last hour. Good to take a breath.
Sick and tired of aching joints, dread the idea of surgery, you need to call QC Kinetics today. Hey, it's Charlie James. The state of healthcare is always changing. The old ideas like steroids and surgery are no longer your only option. Regenerative medicine at QC Kinetics is transforming lives with innovative non-surgical drug-free treatments that deliver lasting results. Knee pain, back pain, shoulder pain from arthritis or injury, don't let this pain keep you from living your best life. QC Kinetics advanced state-of-the-art treatments harness and direct your body's natural ability to restore and repair damaged joint tissue. This is a revolutionary approach that can get you long-term relief with no downtime. Make 2024 the year you reclaim your mobility, reclaim your independence, walk and run, play, and live without the danger and trauma of surgery and without harmful drugs. Call QC Kinetics now.
You know what, Zach? I think that's more about the crowd. I think the crowd is becoming more swerve as he's been getting more airtime, and he's really that good. Also, I think it's Hangman's mustache. I mean, you know, that's a heel mustache. You cannot rock that mustache as a babyface. Maybe back in the day, if you're like Magnum TA or someone like that, you could, but it's not that time anymore. He's going to get booed everywhere he goes. But all he'll talk about is the pop and how it made his goosebumps come up. So, Rob, I don't know if you've seen Hangman's mustache. It's a heel mustache. It absolutely is. And I think, you know, much like when Seth Rollins like colored his tips of his hair,
Yep.
or Bailey
You got to do something.
Bailey, who suddenly is doing the top knot
The
thing
Karen
again.
Bob.
Yeah, but now
Yeah,
she's
now
gone
she's-
back to, I mean, there are certain things that signify babyface is on the way. When he walked out with the mustache, I'm like, okay, I see where he's going.
Well, the problem is
No, there's a
Swerve are just both better.
yeah, but last night Swerve got the bigger pop.
Yeah.
And people were
Swerve's a
more
star.
Yeah, I agree.
Swerve's a star. But I don't think he's the same if he's not a heel. Like the vicious Swerve is the best.
But in AEW, what's a heel and what's a face?
See, I'm good with that though.
Yeah, it's hard to.
That's more real life.
I'm just, if you say so. I'm the heel in this room, and you're the good guy, and everyone knows it.
Brother.
I will never acknowledge that you're the heel.
Brother.
You may have heel-like tendencies, especially the last hour. God. It will be eventually, James, maybe. They got to start filling up arenas other than Wembley.
Just go straight into it. Just go straight into it.
All right. We've only got a little bit of time to get some X's in here, yo. The first thing that's Xing is Will Wheaton.
Will Wheaton, my doppelganger, I've been told. I have no idea why he's trending. He is 48 today.
Oh, no. Will Wheaton is getting some backlash because he's very upset about the Larry David Elmo incident. And there are some people who are pro Will Wheaton and some people who are anti because of his take on Elmo.
The Elmo thing was hysterical to me. The fact that Elmo asked a very simple one-sentence question and had the entire internet trauma dump on him. I just all I could see was at the end of the night, Elmo asking Big Bird, can Elmo bum a cigarette from you, please? Because the internet is full of angsty millennials who have just unloaded their. Elmo asks, is everybody okay? And got a million people going, they found me guilty, Elmo.
And now, for those people, Larry David is their hero, and Will Wheaton needs therapy. All right, the next thing that's Xing, yo, is Brock Bowers.
Brock Bowers is trending. Brock Bowers, I would love to see Brock Bowers available at pick number 14 in the NFL draft. No particular reason.
All right, well, that's why he's trending. He has said the team that he would like to go to
is
not yours.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
It's the Titans.
Good thing it's not up to you, Brock.
It's the Titans.
I'm glad we have another Brock in the league next year.
But why would he want to go to the Titans?
Brian Callahan has the new head coach in Tennessee, has a very unique offense, and that offense can be tight end centric. And I will look at, for instance, Hayden Hurst in his time in Cincinnati before he came to Carolina, a very tight end centric style of offense, much like Andy Reid's, much like Kyle Shanahan's. And I think Brock is just setting him up to be next in the line of great pass catching tight ends.
All right, we got time for one more. The last one, even though
it's a reasonable place he could end up because he is off the board before 10.
Yeah, probably. Unless there's some trading involved. If he's good.
Still coming off the board before 10.
Okay.
Maybe not to where he wants to go.
All right.
There's no chance he's making it to 10.
Even though we just talked about it, the Sphere is trending for something else.
So you two played a gig there last night, and people have been posting all the videos up there.
That's not why.
Oh, because the guy climbed it.
There it is.
The guy climbed it. I was listening
to a protester of some sort.
Yeah, I was listening to Decker's show yesterday, and hilariously, they could not find the co-host of the morning show on the channel that Deck works for, right? They're like, we don't know where this guy went. We don't know where a guy is.
I don't know how that's hilarious. It could be, dude,
it's hysterical.
He might have been attacked by a coyote. We don't know.
Vegas,
yeah.
Dude. That dude is either like 10 sheets to the wind in the sports book, or he took an Uber to the brothel, one or the other. And then like 5 minutes after Deck's like, we don't know where this cat is, out comes the video of this guy climbing the Sphere, and I texted him like, Cody, I found your boy. He's like, you want to know the hilarious thing? I would not be shocked if that's actually him.
But it wasn't. It's a protester. I didn't find out what they were protesting because I don't know how that helps unless you're protesting large, cool things.
Sir, we can't read your sign. You're very high in the air. Incredible protest. You go somewhere and hold up a sign that no one can read. All right, that's it for us. We come back tomorrow. Obviously, it is the last day before the Super Bowl, so we will be elbow deep in breaking down the NFL's championship game tomorrow, as well as just setting you up for a big weekend in college basketball. You have a great rest of your day. Don't drink and drive. I'll punch you in the face. Have a lovely rest of your Thursday. See you back here tomorrow on the Rob Brown Show in the Fan Upstate. Yeah!
Sorry I cut off your yeah. Really? I should cut this off, but it's a paid for spot. And it's just, it's a little old.
Oh, man. Mocked many times with the Colts, but says he wants the Titans. Yeah, again, Callahan's offense is perfect for Brock Bowers. Perfect for Brock Bowers.
How often do guys get to go where they want to go, though? Unless you're named Manning.
Unless you're Eli.
Yeah. or John Elway. I mean, there's been some people.
Oh, man. Well, thanks for hanging out, everybody. Appreciate you guys sticking it out. You're all spectacular people, and we appreciate every one of you. Have a lovely rest of your Thursday. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Goodbye.